We're live, right? All right. Morning. Good afternoon. Good night. Welcome to another episode of Cigars and Whiskey, the podcast that discusses love, relationships, sex, and dating from a male's perspective. I'm your guy, Ron Coe, and I'm joined by my guys, White Star GB.
We're shaking.
We also have super producer Corey Cool in the building, Cool University.
What up, Joe?
All right. Shout out to everyone tuned in on YouTube. Please remember to share so we can get more people to tap into the conversation. We have a great show for you guys tonight. Tonight's topic is going to be traditional dating versus prostitution.
Yeah,
it's pretty polarizing.
straight up and down.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we jump right into it.
Yeah, man.
White Star GB.
Yo,
How was your week, man?
week was great, man. Week was great. Weather breaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, spring is in the air, and halfway. Like we're almost at the halfway part of the year. Like, have you noticed that yet?
Yeah, man.
We're approaching. Feel like everything is kind of sped by. It's almost like we've been like sleepwalking through the. I mean, myself. I can speak for myself. I really ain't put no work in yet.
What do you mean?
I feel like I've been kind of coasting at the beginning of the year. Like I ain't really work on anything that I really want to work on yet.
Like at home or
Just period, personally, financially, just I don't know. For some, I was still on Christmas break. Like like I just feel like I've been like sleepwalking this whole kind of first half of the year.
Okay.
I'm trying to, I want to turn the boosters on. Like, I really want to.
So what's your normal routine? Do you set a goal? You set a
Yeah, I usually set quarterly goals.
really?
Yeah,
Like
whether
is it just are we just talking about money?
we're talking about money. We're talking about like in the gym. We're talking about
Oh yeah, give me an example.
exercise. Like, all right, you want to get into the gym. You want to be in the gym like 3-4 days a week, or you want to start running and start hitting certain goals running. Like I haven't done anything. I get to the gym when I can.
Okay.
Really haven't. Money wise, it's kind of been like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Not really working on anything big. It's kind of like, that first couple of weeks when you just kind of come out of that winter, out of that Christmas vacation, when you just kind of
Yeah.
like I'm still in that.
I
don't know. Well, I'm waking up though. I'm waking up.
Okay.
My niggas in trouble.
Are there any goals or any things that you want to accomplish that you want to put out there?
Nah, nothing I want to put out there. Everything's kind of personal, but just acknowledging that it's time to wake it up. It's time to get busy. It's time to get to it. I'm just kind of
Yeah, if you're saying that, I would probably say I'm in the same boat because I'm kind of just coasting in a sense. There's a couple.
You feel like that, right?
I haven't set any goals or I guess you could say there's things that I probably want to accomplish, but I really haven't. I've thought about it, but I've never really verbally said it.
Yeah.
Put it out there. Or even in my head, in my head, it's just swirling in. It's like, all right, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Even with the show, we haven't set any goals for the show.
Yeah.
We want this many new followers. We haven't really spoke about metrics or anything like that. It's kind of like 2025 has kind of been meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of just going through the motions. We're showing up.
Yeah.
Doing the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not busy work. We're doing the work. We're treading water. We're there. But it's just that focus, that laser-like focus that it's going to take to really get ahead and do certain things. I don't really feel like myself I've lasered in on anything yet. But yeah. I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think the first thing is acknowledging it. Then the second thing is setting those goals. And then the third thing is just smashing them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you would recommend too.
That's what I recommend. That's what I'm about to start. That's what I'm doing. I'm in that first stage.
I kind of dig what you say as far as quarterly, because you got a lot of people that will set a goal at the top of the year,
Yeah.
and if you do it quarterly, you kind of revisit goals and you set new goals
Yeah.
all year round.
Yeah.
Versus if you say at the beginning of the year you're going to do something and it doesn't happen, it kind of falls by the wayside. You never go back and revisit it.
Yeah.
And it's like you go back to it the following year. Yeah. So
And as a New Yorker, it's easy to think quarters because our life is quarters. Like we have 4 real seasons, different seasons.
Mhm.
You could literally live 4 different lives in 1 year. You know, so it's like quarters are easy. Like quarters, I live my life in quarters.
Gotcha.
You know? So yeah, it's easy up top, but I don't know how people, other parts of the state, other parts of the country, kind of really break up their quarters. But
Yeah.
us is like winter is definitely it's a lot different from spring. Spring's a lot different from fall.
Absolutely.
And it's very different. But yeah, man. Let's wake it up, yo. Let's get it.
All right.
Get into the show. How about yourself, man? How was your week, dog?
My week was cool, man. I can't complain. I can't say anything. I'm just happy to be back here.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right. So let's jump right into it, man.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go to the main topic.
Main topic of the show?
Yeah, man. Let's hit it.
All right. So we got a clip from TikToker. I guess we'll give her credit in the note section of the video, but it's video based upon traditional dating versus escorting and prostitution.
Yeah, shout out to our remote people. Tyrone gave us the he gave us the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, let's see what's gonna.
Yes. All right.
All saying, "Oh, follow me as I go on this date downtown with this really rich man," and then someone, whatever. One of the retweet quotes said, "Don't get confused, or for all the young women watching, this is escorting." So I'm like, being an escort. It really made me think for a second. Okay, so I started Googling it. And I'm like, all right, what's the difference between escorting? What's the difference between prostitution, dating, whatever? So what I found is that prostitution, obviously, you selling a kitty cat. You selling all the deeds. Escorting is when people pay you in gifts or money or dinners or shoes, gifts. Okay, dinner is a gift. Gifts or monetary compensation for your time. It doesn't come with any sexual favors. And dating sounds just like escorting to me. I'm sorry. If I'm on a date with somebody, are you not paying for this food because you want to spend time with me? So I was like, so what's the difference? Is the difference that, escorts don't give a damn about who the man is? But what if she starts liking him and actually does start giving a damn about who she is? Then does it go from escorting to dating? And what if you're dating someone and then you stop liking who they are and you don't break up with them? Then are you escorting? I don't know. Don't know. I mean, I think escorting is very a little more obviously I am doing all of this so that you could be on a date with me. It's just, I just find it to be really murky. And I think it's weird that there's a stigma against escorting. I don't really see a problem with it. I don't really see a problem with it. I'm not one to go on a date with somebody that I'm not interested in for any things. But for the girlies that want to do that, I don't knock it. I don't know why there was shade on the internet. I don't know.
I know.
Your first thoughts?
She's muddy in the waters, but the waters are muddy. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of saying the same thing she's saying. There should be a difference, but there's no difference with people with money. We've been the last couple of weeks we've been talking about men and women of a certain age with means who are paying for people's time. So let me just break down what she's saying. She's
Mhm.
saying prostitution is just straight up and down selling, sex, whatever.
Yeah.
Escorting is paying for time. Like, all right, you'll pay. Pretty Woman was the escort, right? She was a prostitute.
I think. Yeah, I think she was a. I think she was a streetwalker, and he
Right.
made her in more or less into an
an
escort.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Escort is you're paying for time, but I feel like you could easily once you have a price on it, it's like you want some overtime, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you just give her a couple of extra dollars and then she's a prostitute now, you know?
No,
But
no. It's. I think it's easier to change a prostitute into an escort, but
why would you
escort
want
into a
that?
prostitute because I think escorts have boundaries,
Okay.
or they have financial thresholds. Let's say thresholds,
Yeah,
right?
but I was just gonna
Where
cost.
going to dinner and spending time with an escort will cost you a certain amount of money, and then if you want to take it further,
Yes,
it's going to cost you more money.
that's what I'm saying. That's
No.
not hard. But I'm saying who wants to bring a streetwalker somewhere to eat? You know what I mean? Like why would you do that?
Well, what I'm saying is that if you want to spend more time,
Right.
if you meet a streetwalker and the first transaction is a transaction for that, and then you say,
Mm.
yeah, you know what, I'm going to get something to eat, you want to come, I'll pay you for your time.
Now
I'll
she's
give
an
you,
escort.
now she's an escort,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Easy money.
it's easy money for
Yeah,
her.
it's
It's
easy
like,
money for her.
oh,
It's
I
easy
get
money
paid
for her.
not
It's easy
to
money for her. Yeah.
pop.
But now with the people with means, men and women, older men and women with money, paying for time with the younger women and men, they're getting muddy in the waters because they're paying for it, which is escorting and prostitution, but they're calling them their girlfriends.
See, okay,
Regular people
Wait.
don't have this problem. I feel like regular people
that's
have clear boundaries. So we're gonna get to the regular people. Right
okay,
now we're talking
because
about
that's what I was going to say.
yeah, right.
Because every situation is not one group of people liking another group of people more than the other. I think there are situations where the percentages as far as liking on both sides might be a little more balanced.
Yeah.
When you talk about age gap dating, of course, we're talking about the value of looks versus the value of money or finances, stability.
Yeah.
And that's how those two people meet, or they meet in the middle.
Mhm.
One offers one thing, one tangible thing, and another one offers another.
Yeah.
And that's the equal exchange in a sense.
Mhm.
But as long as people understand what they bring to the table, I think everything is fine.
But when you're saying that one person is bringing money, stability, and one person is bringing looks, that's an escort. Then once you add sex to it, that's prostitution.
Well, then you would possibly
And
say
then you're in a relationship.
like let's say
makes it
the
dating.
term trophy wife
Yeah.
is escorting in a sense.
Yeah, long-term escorting.
Long-term
Yeah,
escorting.
It's a lease.
Okay. And yeah, it's a lease. And then when that woman reaches a certain threshold of her beauty and
or
she passes that mark,
or that man
it's-
loses
she-
money.
He trades in that lease and gets he
Mhm.
might go get a new.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where the positives and the negatives of both situations happen.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just, in every relationship, you're trading something, you're sacrificing something, you're giving something. You can't get something for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
well, I don't know. You can. So, like, people really listen. We're talking extremes. We talking extremes a lot because that's what gets people to click, and that's the salacious thing. But a lot of people just meet at work, at the warehouse, or meet at the library, meet in school, and they just generally just like each other. I feel like real love is poor. Like two people without anything.
It's not poor. It just doesn't cost anything. Love really doesn't cost a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
You can just
a
watch
movie, yeah.
Netflix, order takeout, chill out, just be together, build. That's the best. That's the purest form of I feel like once you start getting older and you start acquiring things, you start protecting these things, and you start meeting people, and people are coming to you for certain reasons, and women started getting jaded by men only wanting certain things from them because they fall for the first couple of guys who really feel like they like them, but once they get things from them, they leave. And men feel like women are using them, or they get used a couple times. People start getting jaded in age, but yeah, man, yeah, the waters are muddy, and the thing is, these muddy waters are kind of seeping into the regular people, like people are regular people with the advent of social media.
Yes,
it is starting to
yes
get into the regular dating pool, where
What
people are becoming very transactional for different things.
again, I think I said it on the last show. Everything doesn't apply to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
If you're a regular working class person and you don't have a bunch of, I guess, assets and things to protect, it doesn't really apply to you like that, right? But when regular folks try to apply, like as far as regular men try to apply financial advice from millionaires to their life, and they're regular working guys, and women apply advice from models and the who society deems as the most beautiful women, and you're not that, then that's when it gets murky.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you might be an average guy financially. You might be a decent looking woman, right? Not saying you're ugly or you're not, they wouldn't call you a dime, but that doesn't really apply to you. And when men start to apply these tactics to our dating life, and we don't have it like that, and these women try to apply this to their dating life and they don't have those looks, then it gets weird.
Right.
And it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I said we got to speak about the regular people.
Yeah.
Because
regular folk.
when as far as like the prostitution, escorting, and things like that, we're talking about in exchange for time, for money, and things like that, right? And I don't know. It seems like it's more or less on the woman's side. If we're going to talk about that, because more or less when we bring up prostitution, escorting, we're talking about exchange for money, right?
Yeah.
And this is the trope that's on social media, that women are requiring guys to spend more money for their time, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think all women are like that.
No.
There are a lot of women out there that are
regular people.
They're regular people, but they're going on those hangout dates to go watch Netflix at a dude's house and not going to a fancy restaurant, sleeping with the guy, and not getting a fancy dinner, asking for buy my lunch or get my nails done, get my hair done. I don't.
The transactional woman would look at those women as losers. They're looking at it like, yo, listen, you giving the game away for free.
I get it, but
at least
women. Okay,
let's
be straight up, man. Women have always been like that, and they will always be like that, because I don't care how goofy social media gets. Women are just wired to want love, want romance, and things like that.
Yeah,
right?
I think like falls into play.
Yes.
At that point.
Yes, women are. The same women that are probably on social media looking for the richest guys with all the money or whatever, they have a dude that they love that has no money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That could probably call them, or that was in their past that they still have love for, that doesn't have a dime. Right? So women are always going to be suckers for love over money, right? What happens is that the women that are out there that are more in your face on social media, these are the women that probably have gone through that whole thing, and then they get to the point of like, you know what, I'm fed up. I got done so wrong by this broke dude that I'm just going to be transactional. Or I'm a social media influencer. I hate to say this, but I used to be a stripper or this or that or whatever, and now I'm more transactional because of the world that I'm in, right? And I'm giving that whole aura of that as my social media content. So I'm
Right.
telling all women to do that.
Or the third one is maybe she's just so attractive that men just throw money at her for her time.
Either way,
Right.
that same woman, there will be a guy that doesn't have the money, right? Because again, that she likes because just based off of like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People they like money. They love money. They know what money can do for them.
Yeah.
But to actually like somebody, that doesn't cost anything.
Funny thing about it, I think women can actually like men over money.
I think they actually do. Now, are those the men that they marry? Are those the men that they get into relationships with? Not all the time.
Well, yeah, no. A lot of women marry men because they're, especially with the older age gap thing, they're attracted to men because of the stability. Some women find love in being taken care of. Some women like people that they're attracted to. You know?
I think then there's a deeper conversation of loving someone or learning to love someone and falling in love with someone.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a reason why they have these tropes of the rich housewife is sleeping with the pool boy or the tennis coach or whoever.
Yeah.
All right. She has that stability from her husband,
definitely,
but she doesn't is she genuinely in love with that person? Right? Because I think when a woman is genuinely in love with a man, she's not going to be stepping out on him like that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So women will learn to love a dude that is stable, that can provide, but that doesn't mean that she's in love with that person. And I think there's a lot of people out there that love each other, but they may not like genuinely be in love with each other. They learn to love each other.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it goes for the men too. I don't
It's
think
like 40, I would say 30% of married couples are like that.
And I'm not saying it's just one-sided.
Yeah.
Where the man, I think the dude, he likes the way the woman looks and certain maybe traits or whatever she brings to the table, but he knows, yeah, you know, I provide for her and she would make a good trophy wife. That doesn't mean I'm like in love with her. I like the way she looks and I like sleeping with her or whatever else. And over time, she'll learn to love me and I can deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with her not.
That's a sad place to be, though. Ugh, I couldn't imagine being there.
I think
that's the way we judge.
That's the business of marriage, though.
All that falling in love and people loving you for money and all that. Like, who want to deal with that? Like, wouldn't you want to find somebody that's there? Like, you know what I mean? Like shooting in the gym with you. Like, you know, you want to find someone on the ground floor. You don't
some
want to
people can't,
you know, you don't want to be you know, Richard Gere and Pretty Woman. Or you don't even want to be homie.
Richard
Jordan
Gere,
Belfort and Wolf of Wall Street.
I think those are different situations. I think
no, very different, but similar.
Richard Gere, he fell in love. She fell in love. Technically,
yeah.
They fell in love with each other, even though she was a common streetwalker.
Yo, could they get that movie off today? Like, would that work? Or would I just be like, that's a regular love story? It wouldn't even be as controversial. It'd be like, oh, all right. Yeah, I seen that happen last week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even like back then it was controversial, but that's our era. Our era is like, yo, why would you ever do anything like that? Now it's like, yo,
I think
mad dudes is
no.
like on OnlyFans, like
Yes.
sending shorties OnlyFans money and all. Like, yo, you ain't gotta do this, yo.
Mhm.
I'll save you. Like, yo, you ain't gotta do this. Like, nigga,
Mhm.
every other text is like, yo, I'll save you from this life of degeneracy.
Yeah.
Dudes is ready to put this cape on and save these degenerate women, not knowing that, yo, dog, as soon as she get nice and comfortable, this is who she is. Leave her for the streets, yo. Some women belong to the streets. You just leave them in the streets. And yo, let's not get it twisted. That escort game is you a prostitute, ma. Like, let's not play it. Like, let's not play it. Like, yo, if you try to move on with your life and you married 4 or 5 years and you try to tell your husband, yo, I got something to tell you, yo, when I was in college, I was an escort. Yo, dude is gonna look at you like you're crazy and why you ain't telling him nothing. You know what I mean? Because everybody know it's just like being a stripper. Everybody know, like, yo, there's sex in the champagne room.
Okay.
A little extra and you busting it. You know what I mean? Like, and you're there, you know? So it's like, you know, yo, listen.
So
Date. People date.
okay.
Go out there. Dating is healthy. You know, leave that prostitution and you know the escort to the rich dudes with who don't got no time for no game or nothing like that. Dudes who don't got no mouthpiece. Anybody who's listening to this, it's a Friday night. They're already outside anyway. You know what I mean? They catching the rebroadcast. But yo, anybody,
It doesn't matter though,
Mm.
because you let's not certain messages. People have been saying them for years,
yes,
but I don't really feel like they really hold true, right? Because they say, "Oh, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife," but I believe that it's not because of the men not wanting to turn them into housewives. It's because of the hoe not wanting to be a housewife, right?
everybody knows that.
No, I don't think everybody knows that. I think they feel like dudes say that, and then all the other dudes are taking heed to it. No, it's just
Yo,
like,
you can move her to New Mexico. She's still gonna be who she is.
yeah, but
You know what I mean? Like-
if she realistically, right, if she wants a husband, she wants to be a housewife, she could probably do that.
Mm.
Men, I don't know. It's easier, and I don't know if it's infatuation, if it's lust, and lust is a part of a man's pursuit to love,
Mm.
and it transfers to that. But there's no shortage of men at the strip club trying to save a stripper or get her off the pole.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And the only reason why she hasn't taken that offer is because she likes where she's at.
Yeah.
But if
and she don't respect the Johns. Like, at the end of the day,
it depends on what John she respects. Because let a
what
let an
dealer
athlete
respects the junkie? You're a customer.
you
I hear
have
this 20 times a day.
you'll have I would put money on it. You'll have a lot of these strippers at high profile clubs. They have somebody financing their lifestyle.
They got regular customers. Yeah.
No. I'm not saying no.
Full-blown relationship
No.
or whatever.
I'm not talking about coming to the club and tipping. I'm talking about outside of the club.
Yeah.
Oh, you need your rent paid? You need
They
your
got
car?
boosters.
You want a car?
Yeah, they got boosters.
Yeah.
Fine.
So they're getting that experience regardless. Men are going to take care of women.
Yeah.
Men are naturally wired to want to save a woman, to get when he sees her in a bad situation. It's some men that will take advantage of it or put a woman in a bad situation, but there are probably more men that'll take that woman out.
Well, you make it sound so chivalrous.
It kind of is.
No, well, let's move the conversation over a peg. This week we were talking about financial abuse. Do you think it puts a person in a position to be financially abused when you fund their lifestyle? Let me get the definition.
I don't. That's another term. I don't really fully subscribe to that, because again, I think people use certain terms to their advantage. They're just not fair terms.
Financial abuse or economic abuse is a form of abuse when one abusive person has control over the victim's access of economic resources, which diminishes the victim's capacity to support themselves and forces them to depend on the perpetrator financially.
I think that's a
So
matter
once
of
you put
perspective.
someone in the situation where you're living off of my dime, I could kind of do anything with you. Maybe that's a way of manipulating people with money.
I think
And
it's
then
a matter
maybe
of perspective.
her being, in that lifestyle and understanding that, maybe she's like, nah, I don't want that.
You don't think ultimately, if that do it, all right. So let me rewind a little bit. What you said, it's a matter of perspective, because in that situation, maybe that let's say stripper, let's use a stripper for example.
Yeah.
It seems more or less that she has control. He's financing or sponsoring her, but it seems like it's her pulling the strings.
Right.
Now, she's being afforded a certain lifestyle, certain things that she wouldn't have or whatever. And from what we understand, she's taking advantage of the situation. Right?
I guess so.
Because he's a John, right?
I mean, what's he getting out of it? He's getting time and money, and he's definitely getting sex out of it now, right?
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah, well,
sometimes.
Yeah, well,
but
pretty
to that, if
ain't no one putting nobody up and paying their rent without getting no bonds, yo.
For sure. I would assume that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't know if that.
And now he bought her.
I don't think that stripper would say, "Oh, he's fine." Is this financial abuse?
Nah, until it is.
What? How?
Until it's okay. Now I'm gonna cut you off from this. If you don't do what I say you're gonna do.
Okay. And you could say, "Nah, I'm not doing it."
Okay. And
so there's an extreme, and there's so many different variants of it, where you might have one woman that says, my husband paid all the bills, I stayed home, but I didn't get a chance to go out and work and make my own money. And he may have never told her, you can't go out and make your own money. She might have got comfortable.
And then go like that. It usually goes where y'all stay home with the kids. I want you to raise my kids. I want you to, be home with the kids. And then, her career gets put on the back burner but we're there. Where, it's neither here. Now we're talking about, regular squares. You know what I mean? But when we're talking about people
that would be a regular square. Let's say that's a regular square.
Yeah. That's regular square life.
Yeah.
But that's still financial abuse.
But there might be a whole nother woman that's what she wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of
if it's not
perspective.
abusive, if it's healthy and they have access to money and everybody has healthy access to money and there's no control with the resources, then it's a healthy situation. But I don't know, money. So does this whole thing tie into money? Like with the three things that she's saying, with the escort, prostitution, and dating. So it kind of ties into money, and it kind of ties into transactional kind of relationships, right? Is every relationship basically transactional?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Even in the beginning when you're dating? It could be a healthy relationship, but it's a little transactional. Even on the first date, when it's assumed.
What can you do?
No. Even on the first date, when you assume that it's the man's job to pay for that first date, that's transactional, right? And I feel like that's the only link between all three of those things. But I feel like when you're dating and you're dating healthy and you're dating for a purpose, yes, finances matter because you want to find someone equally yoked, and you want to find someone responsible, and you want to find someone you could build with, someone that's not going to set you back. So you're looking for a life partner, but I feel like that's the extent of it. You're not looking to manipulate somebody, and you're not looking to make money off of sex, and you're not looking to do everything else. So to her, I would have to disagree. It is very different when you're dating for a purpose. You know, dating is a bit transactional, but I feel like once you get out of that first kind of stage and you're really dating,
how do you make it not transactional?
you
How
make
can
it,
you have a date without it being some form of currency being spent?
well, no, you have to assume like this is, that's just the way the world works. You can't do anything without some kind of money being spent. It just can't be that's it. It can't be under the guise of I'm going out to I'm going out with this person because I don't like him, but I want to go to this restaurant that he's offering me to. You know what I mean? Yo, this dude is mad thirsty. He want to take me anywhere. Let him take me to Brooklyn Chop House or Tatiana's or something like that. You know what I mean? It can't be along the lines of that.
Yeah.
If you're dating for a purpose, you're dating that I like this person, and yeah, I understand that he's putting an investment into this first date.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give this a real try to see if I like him or not. Because I think I like him. That's the only reason that I'm going. If I sit across the table from him and his breath stink, listen, that's not on me. Because I tried. You know what I mean? But if I sit across the table from him and we rocking, we could do this again. The third, the second date, maybe it don't gotta be so fantastic. On the fourth date, maybe she might flip the bill, and that takes it off the transactional thing. She's putting a little investment in, and now we're in the game of getting to know each other, getting to like each other, and then getting each other. Most square people, that's where we land. All that transactional stuff and all that. We speak in extremes because we kind of want to weed all that, weird stuff out. You know what I mean? Prostitution, out the way. If you're paying for it, if you're on OnlyFans and you really think you're in a relationship or you think you have a chance with that girl, you have mental illness. We can't even deal with you. Escort, niggas is goofy. Regular dudes dating, there you at. Focus on that. Date for purpose. It's gonna be transactional. You're gonna pay for a meal sometimes, guys, and she not gonna dig you. It's fine. Take it on the chin. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're gonna find some nice people out there. Keep trying. Keep talking to people. Keep paying for those first dates. And
what kind of advice do you give to a dude that is potentially trying to go on a date with a woman that says, well, I go to these restaurants myself.
Yeah.
I pay for these. I go to Brooklyn Chop House. I go to Tatiana's. I go here. I go there. I pay for them myself. Yeah. So I want to go there.
Yeah. If that's your standard, that's your standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's up to the man to say yay or nay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because you could do footprints. We're in New York. There's a fly place on every corner. Places on the island. There's places everywhere. You could take people anywhere and have a good experience. It's about the date, Don't take anybody out of your price range. You know what I mean? Now, a red flag would be if she recommends a high price restaurant over your budget, then you kind of know, you know what? Seems like a nice girl, but maybe it's a red flag. It might not be a complete deal breaker, but you should take a look at her like, maybe she's used to a lifestyle that I can't really or I don't want to give her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe she's been spoiled. Maybe she dated a crypto dude or like a drug dealer or something like that took her places that you ain't really trying to do all that. You know what I mean? So maybe she could be what we call spoiled. You know what I mean? Because women do get spoiled sometimes.
That's just
if
that
she
might just
coming to you and she think a regular first date is $700 and that's not really what you do, that's a red flag. And you should probably bow out of that.
Do you think it's a lot of dudes like that just try to stay in there and try to complain about it? Because I know it's a lot of dudes that went to the BMW dealership and knew they couldn't afford that $1,800 car note and they walked out with it anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, I figure out how I'm gonna pay for it
They
later.
got that 18%.
Yeah.
They got that
So-
APR. Huh?
but-
Yeah, they got done dirty. Yo, you got that car. You made that bad decision, man. You gotta live with it now.
Hmm. So pretty much dating in your price range.
Dating
Because
your price
there's
range,
gonna
yeah.
there's going to be some
Because you're
trend.
gonna live in your price range, right? Because
Yeah.
what? When are you gonna meet in the middle? Because if that's the first date, then what's the second date gonna be? What's the third date gonna be? What's vacation gonna be like? What are, what's anything gonna be like? When you cohabitate, what's it gonna look like? And then, certain people have certain expectations of being taken care of. Find
I think
someone
most
in
women
your
do.
price range.
I
Find
think
something
most
in your
women
price
do.
range.
Yeah.
Well, it could be, I could buy you. I send a cash app you $20 on Wednesday so you can get some Chipotle. You know what I mean? Or someone be like, yo, you gonna pay my rent?
Yeah.
Little sign of, that's what men do. Like that's chivalrous. Men throw a little bone to, just to keep it, you get your nails done, like, you look at your nails, like you need them done. Like you just, give a little $100 here, there, you know what I mean? Whatever it costs now. I don't know that. Or that gel. I be walking out.
Oh,
of that.
you co-signing that
Huh?
to do that?
Yo, if you dating, like, yo, listen,
Just
you're
pause.
going on
Stop,
an
pump the brakes real
Go
quick,
ahead.
right? Give me a timeline of when you're doing stuff like that.
6
How
months
early?
to 8 months.
Okay, not
to almost
first few months.
No, that's come on.
Okay.
Now you just basically buying it. If you're about to go out on your anniversary dinner, definitely before you propose to her. You know what I mean? You about to put a ring on her finger. You gotta make sure her nails are done, right?
Nah, yeah, that's a special situation. I'm
Right.
just talking about
Yeah.
you guys.
How
are
about
dating.
even vacation? Yo, come with me. Yo, let's go get right. Let's go get these mani pedis so our feet look decent while wearing flip flops on the beach.
Mhm.
Right? No,
Do you have to do that?
no, you don't have to do anything. You
All
don't
right.
have to do that. No, I'm just
All
talking
right.
about my standard, and maybe my standard is different from other people's standard. But that's
So you pay for hair and nails and all that shit like that.
yeah, at a certain time, as a gift. Yeah, I'm not. It's not maintenance. I'm not maintaining it.
Oh, you're not main. Okay.
No.
All right.
But as a gift, as a little, you know what I mean? Something. If I got something extra, you know what? Here, put that towards whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
life is transactional.
it is transactional,
Like
but
it is what it is. We
all
do
right.
that with our, friends, even
I-
birthdays, whatever. We get a little bottle. We go to someone's house. We bring them something. Life is transactional. It's silly for us to think that life isn't transactional. Everything has a transaction on it.
yeah, but it's at your own behest, right?
Yes.
So the only thing is that if someone requires more of you
Mm.
financially, it's probably because they don't really like you like that.
Of course.
Because I really feel like
You're paying for time.
I feel like love will, or a strong like going into love
Yeah.
will make a man say, all right, well, you don't have it. I still want to spend time with you. I still want to be with you. I still want this.
Yeah.
So,
and let's get it for you.
When
so you do have it. Like a lot of women will see you don't have it. They'll pour into you, so you do have it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna let you. You're cool. You got anything on it, man? Rob, I'm gonna let you land your plane on it. I think we're good on it.
No, I really think we're good on it also. I just feel like love conquers all. And if there's love there, or that man genuinely likes that woman, cares for that woman, or and vice versa, I don't think money is going to really come into play. Not early in the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
now
when you get down to marriage and kids, and you start to make big financial decisions, you have kids and all that, then finances can be frustrating in a relationship. But more or less dating, it shouldn't be that difficult, right? And we were talking just yesterday, and we were talking about how if dating someone is difficult, and you gotta fight through in order to get to the point of proposing to a woman, and then she marries you, I think that marriage is probably doomed from the beginning. Where you see it was rocky during the relationship, and I see dudes a lot of times, and women, they have a very, very rocky relationship prior to engagement and marriage, and they still fight to get there. And I understand people have this idea of like what the story will be like if they say, yo, we broke up and we got together and it sounds great. But I think those relationships are doomed because I think love is easy and it'll only be difficult if you want it to be. And it could be admirable fighting through, but at the end, what are the results going to be? If it's supposed to be some forever shit, a long time, you need the conduct. You can't drive a car at max speed for 100,000 miles. You got to coast in order for it to last. You got to be able to coast. You got to be able to take it easy,
right,
for it to last a lifetime. So that's it.
Gotcha.
All right. So where we go next?
We going next. I bet yo, I got something quick.
Okay.
I got something quick before we get something else. There was.
I like when you do that.
There was a what's that's up, y'all. There was a study that shows that K, just the letter K, is the most triggering text response. Just when someone texts you something and then you just hit K. Have you ever got a K?
No, nobody does that to me.
No, you never get K?
I think I just deal with adult people.
Okay.
I think that's a kid thing.
It's a kid thing?
Yeah.
I get K's sometimes if I'm texting for work and I'm texting like a customer and I'm just letting them know something. I'll either get the thumbs up or I'll get the K.
Oh, I'll give a thumbs up sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll give
I'll give
an
bandit.
okay.
I'm a thumbs up bandit.
I'll give an okay cool.
But I think even a thumbs up is a little triggering now to some people.
Thumbs up.
Are you triggered when I do that? Like, I want more. This should have been more than that.
No, simply because I feel like that's all you can give in the moment.
Right, yo.
Mhm.
Well, I just feel like, yo, it's acknowledged, right? I acknowledge your message. I've saw it. I acknowledge it, and that's it, right?
No, yeah, I guess me. I'm like bet or something like that.
All right.
Mm.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool is probably what I'll type the most.
That's a lot, though.
Cool.
You got to find that A
Cool, I'll
to the I.
probably
You
type
got
it.
it. Cool. Okay.
Cool is probably.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. But all right, cool is probably.
Yeah.
Why is it triggering?
I just feel like, I don't know. If I'm going to put myself into someone's shoes, I think it's the lack of acknowledgement. Some people want an answer right away. But I feel like, yo, honestly, I'm a caller. If I want you, I'm going to call you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to text you with anything that I want that's pressing that a K would trigger me. If I need an answer from you, I'm calling you. So
I could see in certain instances where you would get triggered.
Yeah.
If you say, yo, such and such is right here, right now. He's bugging out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
disregarding.
Yeah. Or condescending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or it's like, I need you to get here now. I need X, this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm communicating emergency, urgent, and you're just okay. I could see getting triggered by something like that, but like certain texts don't really warrant a crazy response.
Yo, arguing through text is kind of fun though, right? You get a paragraph.
I don't do that.
You don't do that. I get a paragraph. I'm like, I ain't even reading all that shit. I just take back like, yeah, I'm not even reading all that.
To double back,
I'm not doing all that.
For me, K just kind of breeds finality to me more so than that. You know what I mean? I can take K as all right, I got you, I heard you.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's it, right?
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I don't get K's.
Okay.
At all.
I get K's, sure. You know what? Okay, something I've been meaning to ask. What's the ... after? Could you get a sure ...
That means to me, when I use it,
yeah,
if I use ... I use it with my wife a lot of time.
All right.
It'll be like, all right, listen, what we gonna feed the kids, and nothing comes out.
Yeah,
doesn't respond.
Yeah,
then I'll type ... like.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
Yeah, like what you know.
Yeah.
Low. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'll use it.
Okay. Yeah, text communication is a big thing, but I feel like texting is lazy. Texting should be the second form of communication. If you want somebody, if it's pressing, if you need to communicate something with somebody, call them. If you're trying to communicate something that is important through a text, good luck.
Well, my question is,
Good luck.
Your kids.
Yes, I'm calling my kids.
Okay, but now when your kids want you, do they call you?
If they want a real answer,
they don't text you.
Yeah, they text me. But all right, I get to them when I get to them.
Ron, what about you?
Like I always tell you.
If your oldest is looking for you.
Yeah, she wouldn't call me. She'll just text.
My daughter is a FaceTimer.
Oh, FaceTime is fun.
My daughter is a FaceTimer. If she's looking for me, it is a FaceTime.
Yeah, let me see you.
It's no text.
Yo, she living in the future, man. That's the Jetsons, right?
It's a FaceTime.
Yeah. When we saw the Jetsons, we saw that FaceTime and we like, yo, I can't wait to do that. She living in the future, dog. Yeah, FaceTime is the future.
What about your wives?
A little bit of both. Call. Yeah, she calls. And if it's not pressing, if it's like, get to this when you need to get to this, it's a text.
Yeah.
But I feel like call is number one. And I'm lying. My oldest daughter, she's a FaceTimer because she's, on the other side of the country.
My wife is a FaceTimer.
Yeah.
Or a texter.
Right.
Yeah, my wife doesn't FaceTime. It's
either
it's she texts, and if it's urgent, she'll call.
Urgent, okay.
Yeah.
So if I can't get to it, I'll text her back.
Mm.
Like if I can't answer the FaceTime, she'll FaceTime me while I'm at work.
That shit might be triggering right there.
I think she just knows. No, she knows
who you with.
You know, so funny. That's never been her response. She just kind of knows because my text is coming in as you're still
coming in hot. Yeah, you coming in hot.
Yeah, like let's say it's if it's FaceTiming.
Yeah.
Ringing. If I could look at it right away.
Yeah,
I'm texting you right there. Like.
I feel like people that FaceTime me trying to be nosy though. Cause my wife would FaceTime me in the morning and she looking around like, what room you in, nigga? Where you at? She looking around like, you let the dog out yet? You know what I mean? Nah, yeah, I just wanted to bring that to the conversation. But yeah, man, we go anywhere, cool. Let's knock them down. Bring us home. Talk a little current events.
All right, that's
Fatigue is a thing. Newsflash.
Can you
White people don't want to live around ratchet.
Start from because I think it cut off the black fatigue.
Any context? Or just rolling.
Black fatigue.
Yeah.
Black fatigue is something that I've been seeing happening on social media, especially YouTube lately. People have been talking about it. Black and white people have been talking about it, addressing it. It's basically I feel like it's a backlash from the Black Lives Matter, DEI, all that kind of movement. White people are finding a way to be openly kind of racist. And
from what I've seen, it seems like it's ratchet or hood black people.
Well, they're cherry picking what they want to see, and they're cherry picking how they want to see the entire group by a minority of the group. There's not that many ratchet or, but they just get spotlighted. They know the people who are dealing with black fatigue probably know a lot of decent black people in real life. But when they get home and they're on Facebook and they're on YouTube and they're looking at certain things and they're watching dash cam videos and all that, they see the bad bunch. And that's how they kind of want to generalize everybody.
Does it mean tired of the stereotype?
Yes, they're tired of the stereotype. That's what I take it as, but
I thought it was white people being tired of hearing black people complain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say about racism, slavery, and police brutality, and I don't have anything like from their perspective. I don't have anything to do with it.
Too? Isn't that a minority? You think in their day-to-day life they're hearing people do that to them?
No.
I feel like they're cherry picking things that are triggering to them And now that they got a leg up, they feel like, they have their president, they have certain things in place where they feel like they're in power, and let's get a little, let's be outwardly, kind of racist a little bit, which is, it's American. It's America.
Let me
No,
hear what this guy has.
All right, yeah. The clip is of a black guy
Yeah.
talking about his take on black fatigue.
Black fatigue is a thing. Newsflash. White people don't want to live around ratchet black people. And black people don't want to live around ratchet black people. I mean, it's nothing like going to the Walmart on a Sunday morning and then you see the Bonnet Crew walk in. Loud, obnoxious, the kids are everywhere, in every aisle, unattended. And that's anywhere you go, no matter what. They're highly emotional, highly sensitive. You can't say nothing. You can't even smile and hold the door for them because they'll look at you like you're crazy. And always the victim of something. Either you stepped on a shoe, you looked at them wrong, you told them good morning. They're never happy, they're never satisfied. And you wonder why normal, good black people move out of the hood as soon as they start getting successful. I was one of those black people that said, man, if I made some money, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna buy up this, buy up that. I'm gonna support the community. As soon as I got my money, I got the fuck up out of there because they don't know how to appreciate good shit. And my suburban kids don't need to be dealing with that bullshit. Crab in a barrel mentality. Never take accountability for nothing. So yeah, black fatigue is a thing. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are fucking tired. They're tired of dealing with these kind of people on a daily basis. I mean, I get anxiety when I walk inside of a mall nowadays. I mean, because you got these YNs running around and they don't respect nothing. So I don't care what anybody says. White America is tired of you, and we are too.
All right, well, that
Toby be good. Toby be good, slave.
yeah, that doesn't that's not necessarily the
Toby. It's Candyland. That nigga from Django. This ain't never gonna stop. It's Candyland, nigga.
that's not
He doesn't have a point.
well, no, I'm just saying that's not the definition. Well, according to him.
You got a definition, GB?
Yeah, I get one.
Well, I'm just gonna say.
Go ahead. Cool.
According to what we were thinking, we had more of a deep kind of thought process about it. His is kind of more surface level, in the sense of, yeah, just kind of being tired of the other side.
Black fatigue refers to a state of chronic exhaustion and emotional distress experienced by black individuals as a result. Well, no, that's
see, it's not the same
this
thing.
is by black, yeah. No, well, this is looking at it like from the black point of view. So this
which would be his.
Yeah.
Did they take the term and try to make it theirs and remix it?
I guess so, maybe.
Maybe it was a black term.
Because the way you're going could almost sound like I'm tired of the black experience. You know what I'm saying?
No,
the way that definition was going.
Yeah, exactly. No. The way that definition is going is like they're basically tired of like racism, microaggressions.
Right, the experience.
Yeah,
the experience of being black. His is more like,
yeah,
I'm tired of my cousins that come over. You know what I mean? My cousins that's from.
He wants to separate niggas from black, basically, like, which is like, yo, listen, that's everybody's goal in their day-to-day life. We never called it nothing, though. And yo, listen, a little niggatry is fun every once in a while. You know what I mean? We go down there and nig with the niggas every once in a while, right? Go to the barbecue and a nig.
Nah. Down sight for God.
Yeah, but I think this is from the point of non-blacks looking at black people, black culture, black what we've had, and I think mainly black Americans, but and I kind of feel like they're they kind of like every movement is on a pendulum, so we had the Black Lives Movement, and I feel like it's fully swung. the other way. And now we're here. And the other thing is that I feel like he was on point is that I feel like Dave, the non-blacks have figured out our weakness as black people is that most black people are emotional. So if you call black people
All
things,
people,
and
all
if you do,
people are.
well, I would say that black people are a little bit more emotional than most. If like, am I wrong for saying that?
I might have to agree with that.
Right. And I feel like they've kind of figured that out and they kind of learned now how to push people's buttons. This is the button push. If we just ignore this, I mean, it's fun to talk about and we're talking about it. I don't think like I find it kind of funny that like they kind of named it something, you know what I mean? But you know, it's like if we see it, just don't get emotional about it. Keep it moving. It's nothing to see here.
Bro, first of all, on the white side of things, they have, it ain't no fatigue. It's from the beginning of discrimination,
Talk about it.
brutality, all that shit.
What's the point of time? All the pastors think change.
They was tired of you saying something about it even then. You understand what I'm saying? You could watch a Donahue interview from 30 years ago with like Farrakhan. And those people, each generation is like, I don't care. I had nothing to do with that. Every generation after slavery says like, yo, I didn't do it. Those are my ancestors. I didn't do it. So why you know what I mean? So they don't want to hear about that shit. They don't want to hear about the trials and tribulations of black people. Right? And to a certain extent, I feel like we shouldn't even be airing out our grievances with them because they prove that they're not going to do anything for you anyway.
Yeah.
Right. But there are other groups of people that are able to do it and they get results for it. Right. So evidently we have to deal with what we have to deal with within. Right. So that's on the white side has already been going on. Go ahead. Cool.
Can I okay, so two things. Well, all right. To your immediate point, you spoke about others getting results. Is it because the others have figured out a way to capitalize off of their grievances even being heard?
No.
You don't think it's that?
No, I feel like their grievances are just a smokescreen. They doing whatever they want to do. They just throwing the scent off with the grievance. That's what I feel like.
No,
Okay.
First of all, like we have to understand what the plan was. Like people don't want to acknowledge what the actual plan was. The plan was never for blacks to be a upwardly mobile civil, group of people. All the other races, they weren't brought here to be like the servant level of a society. They came kind of free willing. Let's say Asian Americans and other groups of people that have got results, got laws and monies and reparations and things like that. They came here on their own free will. And when something happens to them, things get rectified. But the plan wasn't that for black people. I think blacks were supposed to be the working, the labor force for Europeans. And everything didn't go exactly the way it was planned, but instead of being able to keep those blacks in that labor place, it's like, all right, we'll make everybody else, we'll create our own, we'll create different structures of different people. They never expected black people to reach the heights of being politicians, being doctors, lawyers, and certain professions and things like that. But you got to understand, like there's a reason why blacks have sprinkles of different people in different levels, but we're never able to really start our own communities to flourish.
Well, that's a personal thing, right? That's a
How are other races of people able to do it
well,
without any resistance? Indians are able to assimilate and carve out areas in different neighborhoods. Asians are able to do it, right?
So
they're actually buying houses, though. They're doing certain things. It's a numbers game. There's more of them doing that. For us, it's a little bit more speckled here and there, and we're doing it at different times.
Is it safe to say? Is it safe to say? And you could that our teamwork needs work.
Well, it definitely does, because this is the thing. Our measure of success is based on our oppressors' measure of success, right? We want white man success,
like a sense of approval.
Like, all right, so when an Indian guy comes from India, right, his level of success is not really based on American. He'll come, he'll work, he'll drive a cab for years to save his money up and live in a house with a ton of different people to buy a Subway,
to live to buy the American dream. Like, what do you mean? He's not going to
but
do the same thing that he would do in India. Here, he would do what the capitalism.
But let's take.
Hold on. Can I say one thing before? The white person's measure of success is you get educated, you go to school, you buy a house, you get a job, go to college, all that. That's them, right?
No, that's the blueprint. That's not the measure.
The
end goal is the measure. Buy a house. No matter how you get there, that's how you get there. But if that's their blueprint, so like you're not saying that they're following their blueprint. They're not
following white man's blueprint.
No
blueprint. But we are, though.
But that's the thing about it. That's the same mentality that a black from a foreign country has as well. A black from a foreign country has the mentality like that as well. I'm going to come here. I'll go to school. I'll get a job. I'll buy a home. I'll get married. They have that as well. I think it may just be us American blacks who are here,
but
they're also colonized too.
Well, you're asking, I'm just saying. But you're asking why black Americans, why black people can't do certain things, why the home ownership and everything like that is low. But then you're saying that everybody else is up, but you're saying that we're the ones that don't want to follow a certain thing. So it's like
they don't follow that though.
Who doesn't follow it?
Other races of people that come to this country.
They come here and they go to they come here, they'll work, but their kids are going to go to school.
Yeah,
their kids are going to follow that.
Yeah, yes.
They might be too old to go to school and all that. They got to hit the ground running, but they're going to push, and then they're going to send their second generation to school,
right?
And then they're going to get everything off. Like, school is the way to get to that next level.
Not for all of them.
No, I mean for everybody in America. So, like, that's the blueprint. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay
if I little bit on the back end.
Hold on. Let me finish. Right. So we see that a convenience store owner, a franchise owner, not college educated or anything like that, could be upwardly mobile and have money, right? Okay. Now, just because a guy that owns some Subways sent his kids to college doesn't mean that everybody has to go to college, right? It could be, let's say, for instance, an Indian family, they start bringing people from India, and it's 15 people living in a crib. Now, and let's just say those out of the 15, 7 of them are kids, and the others are adults. You got seven adults that's probably not college educated, that's grinding just for the next generation. But that doesn't mean everybody's gonna, even if they go to college, that doesn't mean they have to rely on college, right? What other plans or other ways do black people know to make bread?
Sports. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not
what-
really sure
I
what the
mean,
question means. Yeah.
Like
it's like-
okay,
it's
other
like a
than
trick
other than the
question. You
path
make me
of
sound racist. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no,
right.
other than the path of going to school
Yeah.
and getting an education, what is
Right.
a foolproof plan for them to be upwardly mobile?
Well, they're starting there. There's, I don't know. Do you count trades as a school? I guess so, right?
Okay, how many you think there's a ton of tradesmen?
Well, that's on
Black
us.
tradesmen?
I think
That's
it's
on us.
growing.
What?
I think
That's on
it's- I
us.
think
That's
it's
not
coming,
on this.
you know.
That's not on the system. That's on us.
Black people are 13% of the
Okay. Hold- hold-
population, so
but
I don't
this-
think it's going to be a ton. Like,
but
what
this is-
percentage of the 13%? Yeah, I mean,
But that's
you
on
know,
us. That's
back
not
in
on.
the, back when in the 70s and the 60s, where
Blacks don't really want
Detroit
to. They don't want to
was
do
up
trades
there.
like that.
All right. That's what I'm saying. That's on us. That's not on this. That's not on the
Why?
system. It's
What
on-
I'm saying. Okay, what I'm saying is that the reason why we don't want to do trades is because as the white people send your kids to school, get a job, buy a house, start a family. This is what I'm trying to say. Our plan shouldn't be the same as the white man's because we weren't set up in the same system. It wasn't supposed to be the same way. That wasn't the plan for black people. When Europeans brought blacks over here, or if we were
It's
brought
not
over here,
working, Ron. Like, I don't
What do
know.
you mean
Like,
it's
if
not
you want to
working?
deviate from the plan, but the plan is where you are. Like, if you just don't want to, like, we're here, and it sounds like the plan, honestly, is push the second generation forward. That second generation push the third generation forward. We had a conversation about not fucking
Yeah.
up.
okay,
Like, the biggest thing you can do for your family is not to mess up. You know what I mean? Not to have a major catastrophe where you set your elders back. You know what I mean? Like, where they have to put up a large amount of money or put a house up or do anything for you to get set back, right?
Mhm.
I feel like what you're describing, even through the people who are coming here, the people that like are already here, everybody is pouring into that second generation and pushing them forward.
okay.
And then that second generation pushes the third generation,
But
and then you have
one thing you're missing though. Stay right there.
generational,
The second
success.
generation,
Go on.
they don't have to. They could be a doctor or a lawyer, but
Yeah.
they don't have to because they're coming from a family of business owners, entrepreneurs.
Mm,
They're building community at the same time.
yeah.
You go to certain towns, right, that are all Asian,
Mhm.
that are all Indian,
Mhm.
right? If that next generation wanted to start a business, they have a
But
customer
that
base for
second
that.
generation of
Yeah, I
Asian
don't
is not
know.
inheriting the Chinese restaurant. Once that
Yeah.
They don't have
no,
to though.
they're sending their kids off to
Yeah.
be dentists and to be doctors,
They
and then
don't-
they're
yeah.
selling that a restaurant to another Asian
And
that's
they-
going to do the same thing
okay.
for their
Yeah,
family.
they
It's
don't
not
want-
going to be
they
like
don't even want
generations.
them.
It's not going to get
And they're
keep
okay.
going.
Hold on. There's a difference in that too. That kid that goes to school, he can start his own law firm in the Asian neighborhood or in the Indian neighborhood. That doctor can do their practice in the Indian neighborhood or the Asian neighborhood. Whereas if most black doctors, they have to probably rely on a customer base, not necessarily like because you don't see a lot of black doctors' offices. Do you know a lot of them?
Doctors, no.
Even lawyers' offices. A lot of black lawyers' offices. You see a lot of them.
I've seen them. I don't know about a lot,
But
but
most
I've
black
seen-
people say when you get a lawsuit, you get a Jewish suit, right?
It rhymes.
Do we support our businesses? Do we support our professionals?
Well, like,
We try
well,
to.
that's what I'm saying, Ron. It's all a. Well, not saying you at this table or us at the table, but it's a us thing.
It is a us thing, but first we have to build out communities. You don't think there's you don't
Personnel.
Think,
We're not- we're not sure- we're not
hold on,
sure on the
let me say-
personnel.
no. All right. You don't think it's a problem that when you live in a black neighborhood and black people don't own the businesses in the neighborhood? You think that's a coincidence?
I mean,
It's all I've ever seen my whole entire life. I don't know what it would
But,
look like.
okay,
in-
but
good.
why though?
I see
But
a lot
why?
of Jamaicans-
Tell me why that is.
It just looks
Tell-
like they don't want to own them. Because now
Exactly.
I'm an
And why-
adult.
why- no,
now
tell-
I'm a
tell me why they
grown-up,
don't own
and
them.
it's my
It's a us
time to
Tell
to,
me
like,
why
own
they
them.
don't want to own them though.
Because they don't want to
I don't know.
be entrepreneurs. They
'Cause-
don't want
hold
to do
on.
that.
Do you?
No,
do you,
but when
huh?
I'm in the boroughs, when I'm in Brooklyn, when I'm in Queens, there are black barbershops, there are black wing spots, there are black driving insurance places. There are black. I mean, in the suburbs, no, you're not gonna see too many of those things. I assume because the rent is too high here. You know what I mean? They don't want to deal with all that.
You don't-
They don't want
You
to
don't. How,
But there's
all right,
black
so-
hairdressers, there's black everything everywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's
They're gonna.
bar and grills,
Yeah, I'm saying,
everything.
there's no
Wing spots.
shortage.
There's no shortage of barbershops and hair salons,
Yeah.
right? But even your certain businesses are not black people don't do. They won't do.
Well, what's
They
the
don't feel
point?
like-
What's your point though? I'm confused with your point here. Are you saying it's because is it a us thing or a system thing? That's what I'm trying to get from you. Where are you headed with this one?
I think it's a combination.
Playing it safe, my boy.
Yeah, that's offense.
No, I'm not. Because if you listen to what I said, because I said that the plan was our plan. We shouldn't blueprint our plan off of the white man's plan, right? Because the white man didn't have the same plan for us as he had for himself, right? But we see other groups of people that's willing to sacrifice a generation to get the next generation above water, right?
Mhm.
Where and that's what I was trying to say, right? But black people, we're not doing that. We're not willing to live 15 people in a crib to own a crib and buy another crib and all that.
We don't have to do that necessarily because we're not.
Why are you saying that?
Because I've lived in that situation where I've sent for people in Haiti and coming over. Like, you're not sending from people for another country to come here to live here. Like, you know, like it's kind of apples and oranges. Like, these people, when you got 15 people in the house, these aren't 15 people that were born here and they just ended up being in a certain house. You know what I mean? These are 15 people that were born in another country. They need a sponsor. They have to come here. They have to live in that house because they don't have anywhere else in this country to live.
Let me speak as a black American. Let me speak as a black American.
No. If Big Mama has a big house
Mhm.
and she has the generations of the cousins and the aunts and everything like that living in the house,
That
house is a house where people could stay there, get their money up until they could buy their house. I've seen that happen too.
Yeah,
And that's black American.
yes.
But
It doesn't happen all the time.
well,
It
I've
happens-
seen
it
it
happens-
it happens less as you think.
I've seen
Less
that
and
happen.
less.
It
less
happens
and less.
less than you think.
I
Less
don't know.
and less.
Because Big Mama usually doesn't have a house.
But
That's another thing too.
So Big Mama should have a house. I don't know. Like, someone has to get that house to start that process.
Well-
but I know that dude driving the taxi came over and he got a crib,
Well-
so he could start that process. That process can't even start because niggas are still
A
renting.
lot,
Well,
of, a
this
lot of niggas is not driving a taxi.
but this is the thing. So
Right.
my
I don't
point
know.
is, Ron,
Niggas too
you
good
bring
for
up,
it.
okay, so where does the word entitlement come into play here? Because it almost seems to me that it's possible we feel entitled
That's
to where,
what I explained to you.
so there's
that's
so,
what
so,
I-
so you're not on
well,
the
okay.
fence. So you,
No,
you're
I'm
not
not
on
on-
the fence.
What I said is that if you feel like you should be following the white man's blueprint and you're entitled to what his plan,
That's not a
like-
bad plan, though. It's not a bad plan.
All right,
But-
when you say the white man blueprint, is that a bad thing?
It's not a-
I'm
yes,
not
it's not-
following
that's
you.
not- yeah,
I
it's not
kinda
a bad
really
plan.
can't understand
'Cause-
where you are.
cause-
No,
cause-
yes or
cause-
no? Is it bad or good?
it's good for him
It's not
because
bad
he's
for
not
us.
he's not starting from zero.
Okay. Is it bad? Is it
when you-
bad
when
for
you
the
talk-
black? Is
when
it
you-
bad
when
for
you
the
talk-
black
wait.
American starting from
Yeah,
zero?
well, it's
When-
the
when
black
you follow
American.
that-
When your
plan.
family is poor,
Yes.
you are starting from zero,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So you would probably have to sacrifice in order to get your family to the next level.
Yeah.
You can't just say, well, Tom over there, he was able to send his kids to college and he has a house, or
Okay.
his people gave him a house and this, that, and the third. Or he had an insurance policy.
No, but slow it
I-
down.
I
slow
do
it down.
know
slow
some
it down.
people-
When you say sacrifice, what does that look like?
Do you see how people come from different countries and they live
Yes.
in order to make it over the hump?
Yes. So you're saying the black American does not want to do that
They don't want to do that. No, they don't.
because they're entitled.
Right.
They,
Well-
no, let me not say entitled, right? Because they feel I've been over here, my ancestors struggled, they should be given something.
But nobody
But
gives a fuck about
nothing
that.
is going to be given to us. We tried for years and it hasn't been happening,
Yeah.
right? But we feel like we're entitled to the same thing as that other American because we are American, right? So as an American, we feel like we should be entitled to that. But the
It's-
white
it's
American,
paperwork and
when we
everything,
were brought up over here, the plan wasn't for us to get it. It was for us to be the labor force for them. They're supposed to be the ruling class, and we're supposed to be the servant class. That's how it was supposed to be, right? And once things start bucking up and you got to let them out of the chains and you can't do that no more, all right, then we'll start making different classes of people, not necessarily by race, but it's more invisible. It's not seen as much, but we're supposed to be down here. They're supposed to be up there. That's the plan, right? And of course, Black people are resilient and they're going to push through. Now we get to the point where when somebody does get through, it's too much going on down here. I'm going over here. I'm going to just live with them. So now we don't build community.
Right.
We don't build the Black communities.
Now you cooking.
Black people, Black professionals, Black people that make money, they're not gonna spend their time trying to build up a Black community. It's like it's easier to just go live where white people live. The communities are they're built up more. They got everything going on. It's less crime. It's this. It's that. So it's like, all right, fuck the Black community. They're now they forget about the color or their race. They like, yo, I got some money, and those people don't have money.
I'm not Black. I'm OJ. Okay, cool. You live around niggas. Bring us home.
Well, I'm from there. I was given that. All right. I didn't ask for it. Right. I inherited the neighborhood in which I currently reside in.
Love it.
I've seen a lot of walks of life, just like you guys have. You've seen a lot of walks of life within those confines. I've seen some who had more than others initially end up with less, right? Based on, let's just use that word, entitlement again. I've seen some people who had nothing take the steps to become highly successful. And I've seen some who had everything and took advantage, took it for granted and things of that nature. I am now seeing the neighborhood change a little bit as far as the personnel that's moving in. Maybe people finding more value in it than some of the people who were born there. Not understanding how to keep what they inherited. You know what I'm saying? Which would have been my story. My story would have been that at the moment I didn't know how to keep what we inherited. But I'm not. It's not a bad plan to, because we were saying too, I've seen people with no money make it to school and graduate, right? So I don't know. I think some of those things are available. I mean, all those things are available. It's just capitalization, I think, may be our issue to a degree. Capitalizing off of the resources that are there. Maybe understanding that the road may be a little different, but there are a lot of resources allocated for you to, and I think that's it boils down to you, what you're willing to do to succeed, Nice. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
You're about to do it. So go ahead.
No. I wanted to give a word before you, because you said you was going to give him the last word.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of Black people feel like this guy in the video. So that's why you don't have a sense of community with Black people. It's Black people, like, the best thing you could probably do, or they feel like they can do, is separate themselves from Black people and niggas, right? So the same way he's saying, but you got to understand that when you say I'm moving away, or Black people don't want to be a part of the ratchet. Cool, you live in a Black neighborhood, right? A nice Black neighborhood, but there's still ratchet people there.
For sure.
Right? So,
and it looks crazy.
What do you mean it looks crazy?
No, I'm saying
it just is what it is, man.
No,
and it's like part of our culture.
Okay, so I'll say this. It is what it is because, once again, I've grown up there and it was always an element.
Of course.
Right? But when I now see people move in from Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and they come there, they don't expect to see that. And when they see it, it's crazy to them. You dig what I'm saying? For me, like I said, it was inherited, which some of those that they inherited is kind of where you get that from. The people who are spending the exuberant amount of money to come there, they're like appalled by seeing these things. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, well, I spent all this and all my tax money, and why am I still seeing that? So you're right. It's appalling to them. But for me, it's kind of like we've always grown up with like, you know, the house on the block that's like, them, they be bugging over there or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? So,
bro, what kind of black people are these? Right? It's like the culture. There is hood is black culture too.
Yeah.
If you want to embrace it, you can embrace it. If you don't, you don't.
right. Because
You know what I mean? But like anywhere you go, the only time you're not gonna see it is probably in a white neighborhood, because once they see hood activity, they call the cops.
No, but there's rednecks. There's degenerates in every culture.
No, it is.
Even in the Indian culture, there's degenerates. There's the gambling.
Yeah.
There's everything.
It's fine.
Every culture has degenerate culture. To round it off full circle, it's, with the black fatigue, like I'm saying, it's that bad culture being propped up and being put out in the forefront, and they're seeing that.
well,
and
sometimes
that's
it's
what
just
they're trying to
louder.
say.
Sometimes it's just louder. I don't know.
And
Sometimes
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
sometimes
a
I'm not
minority. It's a loud minority.
sometimes I'm not sure if it's being propped up per se.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's entertaining.
okay, well, we could
It is
obviously
being propped up.
we could
Look at
obviously
VH1, Zeus. People are building whole networks off of this.
yeah,
this
we
garbage.
could look
We've
at
been saying it for years.
we could look at
People
the
have been making themselves millionaires off of this degenerate culture.
we could look at the median for sure and say
You
it's been
And we
propped
can
up.
honestly say ratchet degenerate culture is 60% of black culture.
First of all, if
Ooh,
you're
60?
if you're blacks, elites, or whatever are rappers and athletes, yes, it's gonna be a hood culture. That's where it's like, yo, bro, like dudes in the hood playing ball, dudes in the hood rapping. That's part of it. If these are your representatives of your culture or your race, then how you going to just dismiss or disregard hood or ratchet activity, right? So you got
What it's supposed to be is that McDonald's commercial. It's Calvin. Calvin walked past all that hood ratchet activity and he went to work. We supposed to prop up. After all these years, after that, Calvin, that was maybe what, like 30 years ago? That McDonald's commercial?
come on, bro.
After all
Come
these
on,
years,
stop talking
Calvin
that
was
bullshit,
supposed
bro.
to be Calvin was supposed to be the dude that everybody was
Well,
supposed to be propped up. And
I have
everything.
No.
well
We
listen,
saw
I
Calvin
have
put the blinders up,
but wait.
walk past all the bullshit,
GB.
and go to work.
How much money is in Calvin?
Yo, dog.
And
that
that's
money
that's,
is in what?
that's
How
what it
much-
is.
No.
I'm glad you
Right.
said that,
How
cool.
much money is in Calvin?
How much
That's
money
how black
is
people
in,
think.
That's how much money is Calvin making, or how much money is there in exploiting Calvin?
Exactly.
No.
Both. Well, both, honestly.
Okay,
But-
Calvin was a kid who was going to work, who was sacrificing for the second generation. Now, how much money was in Well, we sold our soul then.
Listen, I'm
You know
gonna
what I
go.
mean?
I'm gonna go back to what Ron always says.
This is what it is.
Let's go
If
back
we
to what
wanna-
Ron says.
Go on.
Calvin's not sexy. You know what I mean? What Calvin is doing is what we should be doing. We should be putting our blinders on, right?
Well, that's what most people are doing. That's what everybody I know does.
Right.
Everybody in my phone is Calvin. I don't know hood niggas. I know hood niggas.
Yeah,
You full of shit.
but I think that, as of lately, as far as entertainment is concerned, because
Yeah, but-
I also think that too. I think sometimes as a people we get a little too trapped up into entertainment, which is
sold out, but nobody's
you got-
entertainment is their dirty laundry. What other culture's entertainment is their degeneracy? Is their dirty laundry? Is alcoholism? Is drug use?
But hold. That's
is,
your elite too.
prostitution. Is
That's your elite though.
yeah?
That's your representatives though.
Well, we're fucked from the beginning. It's just like, yo, we sold our soul and we continue to sell our soul and we're giving money into that. It's like, yo,
This is why Calvin.
and that's where black fatigue
Cal-
comes from. That's where black fatigue comes from. Black fatigue comes from, yo, the only time I see you niggas is when you acting a fucking fool. You acting. The bitches just pulling each other wigs off of fucking TV. Niggas is running around in ski masks robbing each other. And the fucking grown men are catching cases
What they gonna
with
do?
with fucking underage girls.
What they gonna do though?
What's who gonna do?
What they gonna do?
They gonna sit
What they gonna
back,
do for
eat-
money?
Who?
Those dudes that's doing all the shit.
Should have been Calvin.
They ain't gonna. They not gonna.
It should have been Calvin.
They not
Should've
gonna
been
be no.
Calvin.
They're not gonna be
Should have
Calvin.
been Calvin.
Calvin.
Calvin don't got no case on him. Calvin's squeaky clean.
Calvin-
right now,
now-
what?
no.
30 years later,
Calvin.
Calvin probably owns
no.
McDonald's now.
Calvin no. Calvin don't own McDonald's.
Calvin
Calvin is Jose now, and Jose will look to buy the franchise, or
Right.
Jose will save up his money. Jose would save up his money and start his own restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
or try to become a manager and try to move up. Right. For us, it's weird as hell because we'll try to balance like, oh, how much money Calvin making, but niggas be broke as hell. Right?
Mhm.
And they asking how much. It's like, yo, you broke. What you care for? It's money. You understand what I'm saying?
You on the ground
You on the
floor.
ground floor. But this is what I'm saying as far as, I guess you can use the word entitlement, right? But I
Yeah.
think there should be a sense of entitlement, but we haven't received it. And we're sitting here waiting for it. And we feel like if we continue to complain and complain and complain and complain, eventually something will happen. And we expect our oppressors to give us something to make us better.
Well, there's a certain level of go and get it after entitlement doesn't.
But we're already
manifest.
to the point where our best and brightest are going to leave us and go over there, and they're not going to help the neighborhoods anyway. So
Entitlement
They'll
in
leave.
its broadest sense refers to the belief that one is deserving of a certain privilege or benefits, often without having earned or worked for them. All right,
Yeah.
what we got next? Let's go to that middle one. Let's go to that. I think we're gonna.
Any context, or are we?
Nah, this is Jada Daniels' mom giving a little context. I
okay.
should be hovering on the boy.
Thing is like,
Wait a
I
minute.
want Jaden to date. I don't want everybody to say I'm putting it on record. My son can date. He can live freely, makes his own decisions. However, the relationship we have, he does value my opinion because, you know, when my kids were little, I did a lot for them. So, and my kids saw that. My father, my background, I worked too hard to allow anybody at any moment to come in and just, you know, take it away. So I have a view of what I feel a good person is. And, you know, but my son is 24 and he does have to go through things and he has to learn on his own.
You know, you were very honest about protecting him. You said predators, also protecting him from women who can be predators. And we've seen that all through sports. We see it after their careers. We see it in business. Being the good woman you are, also raising a daughter, why have you been so diligent about protecting Jaden from the wrong woman?
So first and foremost, you know, I have a meme out there and it's funny. So I can't laugh. I can only laugh about it. But
Explain
the
it.
whole girls
Yes, white people.
comment
Over it.
was made first of all 2 years when he was at LSU, and it was a question asked like, what is your biggest fear? And that should be every parent's biggest fear. That should be, if you're a star athlete and you're a female in WNBA, that should be your biggest fear is, you know, the men or, you know, the women, because you're a public figure and, you know, your dollar amount is associated with your name. So you never know who really is there for you and who's really against you.
She said a lot.
Yo, she's his manager,
Yes, she's
Mhm.
the manager.
Oh,
Momager.
Momager.
and she sounds like she's
Agent.
She sounds like she's not just a mother that just took the role. She might have, you know.
No, well, you have to be licensed. Like you just can't.
Oh, okay, yeah, it
become an
sounds like
agent.
she maybe she knows. Like she
went
sounds.
through she went to the channels and she went through everything. She's a certified agent.
Mm.
She's here.
She's a real life Tasha Mack, huh?
Entitlement kind of goes a lot of I sacrificed a lot for my kids and I sacrificed a lot and I put a little bit, but entitlement means not deserved. What happens when what's the word for it when you do deserve it? Entitlement is when
Why does she deserve it?
because she put the work. Well, she feels like she put the work in. So what does she feel
What?
like she
By
is?
doing what?
By
Being
sacrificing,
his
taking
mom?
him around, being his mom, sacrificing, pouring
Being a
money
mom
into
means just being a mom for you.
no, pouring money into him, putting
part of being
That's
a
part
parent.
of being a
it's not
parent.
part of being a parent. That's part of
Definitely
being
is.
an elite parent. Bringing him around to AAU. She felt like she made him great. And she deserves to.
Huh?
She felt like she made him great. And she's and she feels like the final stage of her thing is to keep him away from predatory women. And that's how she's acting right now.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, I don't think that's a negative as far
No, I
as
don't either.
trying to keep her away. We all try to keep our kids. There's certain kids that might come around. Well, my kids are
when he was a
young,
grown man, cool.
No,
like dude, he's 22 years old.
right? But I'm pretty sure, if my mother was still here and I brought somebody through that gave her a bad vibe, she'd tell me the same thing. Maybe she doesn't have any control over if I still hung out with him or not, right? But I don't think my mother would pull a punch to say, "Yo, listen, I don't know about dude. He give me a vibe or whatever the case was." I'm not sure that
How
ever.
much
I'm not sure
would
that ever
that
stops.
affect your decision making? How much of what your mother said mattered?
I would say a lot when it came to people.
Yeah.
When it came to people, a lot. I mean, a lot. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, my mother never really steered me wrong when it came to that. I was also a pretty good judge of character myself, so it wasn't many times she had it. But when I was young, she would point out certain youngsters, and she ended up being right because they, those particular guys ended up, getting themselves into things, and I just happened.
Well, we're
to
talking
dodge the bullet.
about women friends. We're not
Now,
talking about guys.
okay,
We're talking
so
about women friends.
Now, no, my mother saw the girl that I'm with now and was all for it. You know what I mean? She did the looks, and guess what? It wasn't like my mother and her mother were like best friends or anything like that. You know what I mean? She just took the person for what they were, looked at her and said, "You know what? She looks like a nice girl. You should probably stay right there. I like her," or whatever the case was. Before that, there was kind of girls that she was like, you know what I mean? Oh, my brother. I could use my brother for example. There was girls that my brother brought around, and she'd be like, "I don't know about her," or whatever the case is. But
do you feel like you'll have that same power over your kids?
So I would like to, not power, but I would like to have an opinion. And I think that's all we could kind of ask for is the floor.
Yeah.
Right. To be able to express it. Now, I do believe that starts from very young, right? So if, this woman right here that we're talking about, if she's always been at the wheel investing time, money, and opinions, as he gets older, she's still going to have the floor, because apparently she hasn't steered him wrong so far, right? She steered him right into the right into the NFL, right? Yeah. So her opinion is going to still weigh very heavy, and until either he feels that she's wrong or needs to be gone opposite to, then she's going to get that floor. Now, but I would kind of want to go back to what you were saying as far as, what do you call it when you have invested, right? Entitlement is when you didn't work for it, but you think you need it or you think you should have it. Don't run away from that. What does that mean?
You're a partner.
But you're also a parent. You're also a parent,
like,
right?
I'm an investor.
If you're a parent, it's just your job.
It's your job.
So you don't feel like your kids owe you anything in their success? So there's not a baseline. Your son earns $100 million a year. There's no baseline of what you think that your son should do for you.
I would assume if I raise him a certain way that he'll take care of his family, but I wouldn't say like, "Yo, what you like?"
Do you think Kobe Bryant's parents think that they raised their son a certain way?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know what went on or why he cut his parents off.
So
it happened after he met somebody, though.
I just want to say one thing, and then I'll get out the way.
We're being naive if we don't think certain women draw a line between certain people. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, and then I'll get out the way. Okay, when you say, do they owe you success? I want to say yes, but not in the frame as far as like kickback I'm looking for. I do feel if more than owe me success, you kind of owe yourself success.
Yeah.
If I have made sure you were.
Hallmark. That's not cliche, my boy. It's like a Hallmark
Now, I
card.
get what he's saying. Go ahead, finish.
So I'm just saying, like, okay, if I have made sure you never needed or wanted for anything, or maybe it didn't come when you wanted it to happen per se, but I made sure the bills were paid. I made sure you ate clean, had access to extracurricular activities, access to a decent school or whatever. I feel like you owe.
That's
you do
the
owe
baseline.
success.
Cool. That's the baseline. So
I understand.
Now, let's add on to that. What you just said, let's tack on driving back and forth to practice.
Our
AAUT.
daughters,
No,
our daughters are in dance class.
Yeah, that's a Friday. That's here and there. We're talking about,
for me, it's a
driving
Thursday,
to Philly.
Friday, and a Saturday.
We're talking about driving to different dance class, dance troops, dance competitions, extra dance practices, everything like that. We're talking about to get to that next level is gonna take. It takes these kids play for three or four different AAU teams.
All my
They
kid
pay for
owes me
everything.
is to not quit on me. If I'm putting effort in
On
to
you.
get you there, don't quit.
So daddy need that Cadillac.
No,
means not
no,
quitting.
because you know how many kids don't make it. How many kids don't make it?
No, but when he does,
when he
that's
don't
your
make,
lottery
well,
ticket, and you scratched off the right ticket.
Let's talk about more of the kids that don't make it. They owe their kids.
Why you talking about them?
They owe their parents something.
Nah, they counting. Don't worry about
So they got to kick back something like, oh, I spent time and money.
I want cheeseburger. You got me.
Because okay, if you look at it,
about Jaden Dan,
if you look at it like this,
the
right?
one who made it, the one that got the $100 million contract on a rookie deal, he up there. What do you got? Nike, New Balance, whoever he's sponsored by contract.
All that effort,
making all those. Mom took him
GB
everywhere.
Hold on,
Dolly, come on now.
All that effort, I would say. Ron, I'm gonna bring Ron's point back in. Not everybody makes it, right? But a lot of them don't make it. But all that effort could probably at least get you to school, right? And then when you get there, not everybody makes the NFL, not everybody makes the NBA, but you're in the position, you're in school, graduate. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself that piece
about that when we have a clear example.
But that's success. That's
a
success.
Mother talking about the one with the $100 million contract who made it. Does he owe her? Does he owe her to listen to her?
To listen.
We're not talking about the one. Yeah, I invested all this money into you.
No.
You're going to listen to me in the second stage.
Don't owe
You are
nothing.
not going to go through that. You're not going to be Anthony Edwards.
No.
You're not going to be Anthony Edwards. You're not just going to go out there and give women money because you can't control yourself.
You know how you get the return on the investment?
Go.
The fact that if she didn't steer him wrong, he's just ultimately going to take her advice because she gave good advice, not because he took her.
Nigga still got babies. That's what it is. Y'all still got young kids.
Not just because she took him to practice.
This shit don't matter. Everything you doing right now, everything you do, it shit don't matter. When you put them in the world, it's in the world. Like,
all right,
right now,
do you feel your daughter owes you that? You feel your daughter owes you like
my daughter
Rolex?
owes me just not to fuck up.
Okay, so that's the same thing.
Not because she ain't make the $100 million. You know what I mean?
So if she made $100
million, if I put the work into her for her to make the $100 million, yeah, I want the Escalade. Yeah, I want the big crib. Yeah, I want that. I want all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm checking my cash app. Yeah, I need all that. You owe me. I put the work in. You owe me up to where I put the work in. I put in work. I put in plenty of work. Great work. She's good. She's in the world. You know what I mean? But we're naive to think that we have control over who they're gonna date and who they're gonna be talking about if they raised a good person. Yo, you have till about 13 until anything in your household matters more than the world. And we've been there. We've been naive to that. They call it jumping off the porch. When you jump off the porch, that means the shift of the balance changes. What happens in the house doesn't matter as much as what's happening in the street. You know what I mean? What happening with your friend. This is when your friend group matters a lot more than what your mama's saying. You know what I mean? Unless your mama can shelter you and keep you from jumping off the porch later by driving you to AAUs and by driving you and keeping you in that car at practices and all that and keeping you busy and keeping you out of the world. But most people are going to be in the world. no matter how much you shelter them. And we put them out in the world, and listen, these are human beings, and we've dealt with humans. These are humans that we've raised, and sometimes these humans disappoint the fuck out of us.
You gotta look at. You brought up Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, his mother and his grandmother both died, so he really in the world by
exactly
himself.
Right. So if you look at them,
right,
I don't know any of them. I haven't really seen. I've seen more of Ant-Man versus Jaden Daniels. It seems like their personas are way different.
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels seems way more tame and like a Boy Scout. He looks like that, right?
Yeah, he's a Boy Scout.
You don't think that's because he has his peoples there advising him and steering him in the right direction?
Yes.
And he's probably still taking their advice because they never led him wrong. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. But
he's gonna jump off the porch one day.
He's off the porch, bro. You think he got jump off the porch at 30 or 35? He's 22 years old.
Wait till Dre catch him. Wait till something. Wait till one of them old cool.
Bro,
wait
I don't think
he ain't been caught yet.
There's not a chink in the armor with his peoples that Drea is gonna be able to get to him.
No, the chink in the armor is the noise. The chink in the armor is that his mom is doing interviews before he's doing interviews. That's the chink in the armor. His mom wanted to be a star bigger than he wants to be a star. That's the armor. His mom, the chink in the armor is she want to be all in the videos, dancing all of it. That's the chink in the armor right there. If she was a little lower, if she was a little bit more covert, a little bit behind the scenes, then it was cool. If she could handle what she's doing with a little bit more tact, you know what I mean? If she's not sitting in front of him, sitting in between him and Juju, carrying on and like, I'm shutting this shit down. You can hear her saying that, I'm shutting this shit down. You think you getting some pussy tonight? Like, nigga, no, you're not getting this bum pussy. Like she's shutting it, like she's overly confident in what she's doing. And that's going to be the chink in the armor, and that's going to send him overboard. We've seen that plenty of times too. We've seen that shelter person go over and aboard because they hear too much of the noise, and now they got to prove it to the world that they out here.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so. I think you'll probably see this kid remain humble and probably find a woman to get married. And all that. I think he gonna be on some Russell Wilson shit.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna go crazy.
But now that's the thing. Okay. Let's say Russell's mom could have easily had a problem with Ciara, right? That's easily somebody that she could have sat in between.
Yeah.
Not saying Ciara's not a good person or anything like that, but she had a baby by a rapper, and she's an entertainer, and she's linked to this guy and the other guy.
Oh wow, 50.
You know what I mean? That could have been one. Now, it worked out for him in a major, beautiful way. Honestly, two people I wouldn't even really see getting together like that.
Me neither.
But she's transformed herself into the perfect, wife. Say with the music, I'll do it if I feel like it. Sometimes I got these kids, I'm gonna raise them. So, right? But I'm pretty sure
between babies, you let her go twerk on the car, and
if I was a betting man. Russell Wilson's mom is what? Nationality-wise? Not a black woman, right?
I think maybe white.
It's a great chance. It's a great chance that Russell probably heard it a little bit.
Possibly.
Because he had the white shorty before.
Yeah.
Out of college in Wisconsin. Right? Did he marry her? No, but he was
married? I don't think he was married.
I think he was married.
Well, I know he was with her for a great while. This college girl.
I don't think he got married though.
Okay, so but I'm willing to say
he was married.
I'm willing to say that
they were married for several years and divorced in 2014.
Now I wonder, was Ciara in the midst of that, or did he just divorce her and then find Ciara after? But that's not the point. The point is, I'm willing to bet that his mom probably was like, I don't know, Russell, this, that, and the third, and you can't say that she was at the top of her music game, right? At the
Mhm.
time, she
Mhm.
wasn't like, I mean, still a star. She has
Both
that
his
type
parents
of
are black.
Cool.
Both of Russell Wilson's parents are black.
Word.
really.
I thought he was mixed. I thought he was
I thought he
biracial.
was mixed.
No, they're black.
I didn't think white, but I definitely. Damn, Russ.
I just have to fact check. Yeah.
Damn, Russ, that says a
I
lot.
didn't think so. I seen a little coolie hair, but
He got that.
It look
This
like
his nose. His nose to me looked
Yeah,
like
he
it
didn't-
could be. Well, okay, but all right. Let's just say that black mom still.
yeah.
You don't think? Maybe she was probably like, oh yes, get away from the white girls. Go ahead, get with her. Whoever it is, go for it.
Carlton Banks ass nigga.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised still if a mom would look at her and say she has a baby already from an entertainer. You have no children. He didn't have any children with the other
Well,
shorty.
he has an ex-wife, so he has baggage. So it's like, all
Okay.
right. So yeah.
I think well, I think we're good. Good luck to them. Good luck in this season. Their success as a family, I think, hinges on his success. I think she's on the right path.
But
of
you think
trying to-
you think she's a
I think
little
she's
overbearing?
I think she's a little overbearing, but she
Let up a little bit.
yeah. I don't think she should be doing interviews on that. I think the interviews might be a little embarrassing. It might make him look like a little mama's boy. And if he has to be
that's
a
what
leader,
he is, right?
well, if he has to be a leader of men, it's gonna be, and it might backfire on him. I don't
I
see
don't know.
a father in his life.
No, his
and-
pops is there.
His pops around too.
Yeah, his pops.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so
As far as a leader of men, I think, man, if you win games, I think all that shit goes out the window.
yeah. But
When you start losing, that's when all that other stuff comes into play.
you
Oh,
want-
you throw
mama's
touchdowns,
boy
you
as
can be a
well,
mama's
man.
boy. Nigga, keep throwing the ball. I'm gonna keep catching it. Just don't tell me shit.
You gotta.
And usually the sheltered folk are the ones that kind of overdo it.
I don't think so. I think I think the ones you see, I think that's a very small percentage, and I don't think they're that sheltered, that the wild childs, right,
Let Buffy the Body get that nigga.
bruh?
That
Nah,
nigga
I don't
good.
think so.
He look
And
like an old, like a little old video vixen to
You
tear
got-
his ass up, boy.
you got to think about how predatory these women are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you have to have. I think you have to have somebody like his mom, because if you probably look at the other dudes that these women that have had histories of dealing with multiple athletes, and they still took them on, got them
Yeah.
pregnant, all that, I bet you their moms are not in the mix trying to, like, they don't got good people around them to shelter them away from certain things.
Well, they're just not that smart. I think we're also giving people a high intelligence level that don't.
No,
How
and
much
maybe
you
that
think
maybe the people
agents-
around them are not that smart.
How much do
so.
you think agents have to do with that as well, too? Because she has two hats on. She has the mom and the agent. I remember
I don't
that
think the
show. Did
agents
you ever
give a
watch
fuck.
Ballers? Yeah, you ever
I
watch-
do. That was my
like,
show.
Right. Do you think that agents really have access to, or really kind of like can tell you like,
They're
yo,
not
I
gonna-
don't think they
No.
should be doing this, or like offer a certain level of
That's your
advice?
publicist.
Yo, your
Nah.
dog. I seen she was with homie before.
No, that's your
I seen
publicist.
her
Your publicist is only saying that because it doesn't look good for the brand.
until it does.
If
Until
you-
it does.
Him and Juju would have looked good for the
That
brand.
would have looked great for the brand.
If
Right.
you
Until she tore her fucking knee.
Mm.
Yeah, if you remember the show though, the dude that played Denzel's son,
Yeah, my guy.
he had some shit going, paternity and messing with chicks or whatever.
Yeah.
His agent didn't care. It wasn't like, yo, you should stop dating these chicks or
He
whatever.
was giving them advice though. He was talking. To
he
them
was
and
al-
trying
he
to-
was already his personal life was his personal life,
Mhm,
right? It was wild. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
But it was like they focused more on the business,
Right.
on the money.
Yeah.
So
but there's less money.
I think the fact
If-
that his mother is involved, there's another level to their relationship. It's not just about dollars and cents.
Right.
So, yo, bro, you don't need no less than 25-year-old getting poached by
Good job, Mom.
a high 30, 40-year-old woman trying to, land a baby or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, bro.
Good job,
Right.
Larry.
Seen Ant-Man getting caught up by the same thing. So
Yeah.
shout out. Y'all want to do that last one, or we keep it moving, man?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
out of here. You want to do it?
I guess so. Yeah, sure. What is it? The Diddy? Diddy trial. Diddy trial. All right.
Diddler.
All right, he's gonna run it.
Yep.
And week 1 of the Diddy trial wrapped up today with Diddy's team doing their best to undermine the jury's sympathy for Cassie. They did this by exposing more texts between her and the rapper where she declared her love for him. Cassie did admit today that despite all the alleged abuse, she still doesn't hate Diddy. In a really shocking development, the court learned that a gunman who stormed Trump's golf resort in 2018 was also an alleged escort for Diddy. And Cassie said on the stand that she and Diddy believed that the gunman, his name is Jonathan Audie, had taken a secret video of them having sex. At the end of her testimony, Cassie released a statement via her lawyer that said, quote, "This week has been extremely challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me." Remember, Cassie is 8.5 months pregnant. The trial resumes on Monday for the second week, so make sure to listen to the Trial of Diddy podcast, where we'll be back with new episodes next week.
Trial of Diddy podcast. Shout out
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, man. Shout out to them.
2 junkies in a tumultuous relationship.
So what are you thinking?
You just heard me. 2 junkies in a tumultuous relationship. Just junkies. Just junkies that introduce people. One was a freak, one was a cuck. And a lot of domestic abuse.
Yeah. What I'm getting from the recap of this trial is I don't get sex trafficking, I don't get RICO, I get domestic violence, I get weird sexual fetishes, weird sexual activity, solicitation of prostitution, things like that. But I don't get the trafficking.
Well, okay.
In the RICO.
I don't get it either, but if I'm going to be objective,
Mhm.
and I'm going to look at this case in the grander scale, we got 8 weeks. It's the first week. I think they're just character building. I think they're just setting the table right now. I think they're just letting the jury and the judge know what kind of man they're dealing with by chronicalizing one of his closest relationships that he's had, because Kim Porter's dead.
But I think Cassie is the most damaging witness that he probably did have.
Well, she was pregnant. She's 8.5 months pregnant. She's gonna pop any day now. I think they have to get her out the way, and I think that's good for their case because they're just setting the table. They're just letting
I don't think it's good for that case.
Sean. No, they're letting you know who Sean Combs is. I think the abuse. I think they're gonna tie up a whole bunch of ends and all that. Right now, listen, we're looking at a job not even half done. It's too early. So far, I agree with you. Not being naive, being objective. I kind of think this is a small part of the grand scheme.
I think that if they had it the way they wanted to, they would have waited to put Cassie on the stand.
She's not going to get it done. No one cares.
I think if
she got paid already. Yeah, he stomped her ears together, but she got paid already.
No, what I'm saying is far as the prosecution is concerned, I think it's a better case if you build the case and then you show like he's definitely capable of all this shit. And then on top of that, because I think that she is the witness that they had to kind of damage his character and everything like that. And I think the only reason why she's going this early is because of the pregnancy.
Yeah.
But I think if they had it the way they wanted to, she would be on the back end. But you got to think about it like this. The first week the jury hears this, they got 7 more weeks, and this is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Depending on what comes out, it's going to be like, all right, they could forget this.
This is going to be old.
You understand what I'm saying?
By the time they get to that 7 weeks, they're going to be like, damn, all right, well, damn, dude. Everybody in your life tells you, like, you got Dawn Richards and Aubrey O'Day coming up. So these are people that worked under him on the business. So they're going to chronicleize all types of stuff. And then you're going to get, I don't know who else they're bringing in, but right now, it just looks like we're not even halfway there, bro.
Dawn doesn't. I don't think she really has much.
Aubrey hates that nigga.
She hates him, but that doesn't mean
she'll find something. Because Dawn today, she just basically said she's seen Diddy hit Shorty with a pan, after she fried some eggs or something like that. Like
Yeah,
it's just a whole bunch of domestic abuse, a whole bunch of things. He made sure he do a whole bunch of things, but his defense masterfully went through the text messages, almost made the relationship and everything seem consensual, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't know. He has a
Yeah.
great team.
Yeah,
He got a great team. If I'm gonna grade right, if I'm gonna go by this week, who's up? I'm gonna say Diddy's up this week, but I say it's very early.
Well, I think he's up in the sense only in the sense of
them not proving the case.
these things not really
Setting the table.
aligning to the charges.
Sometimes you got time. Cool, you set the table.
Now this is I can first of all, I would not at his expense, not at any man's expense, but I would like to think that the government is better at doing their job.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? That's what I would like to think. And I would like to think that the federal government with unlimited resources must have a long game in play. Now, do I want to say it goes to him? No, I don't want to say
So
it
he
goes
didn't
to
win
him.
this week.
When you think of this is the thing. When you think about it, they already won.
Who won?
The government is already.
Oh
won.
yeah, the government.
Yeah, they're
already
bleeding
won.
them. They're
Yeah,
bleeding
but
them
yeah.
of money. They're
Yeah.
Yo,
bleeding
bro,
them of
because
stature.
when it all comes down to it, they could say, you know what, the majority of these charges not guilty, but he got found guilty for this, that, and the third.
Mhm.
How long he been in jail? 2 years, a year, whatever.
No.
All right, time served.
Yeah.
All right, go.
No, it's not gonna be time served. Listen, the plea deal was 10, and he didn't take it. So,
Bruh.
we're gonna see what happens.
On their side, it still comes up as a conviction. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So either way, they already won because he's been in jail for I don't know how long he's been in jail now.
Coming up
on a year, right?
I don't think not a year.
No,
yet.
it was warm when he went in. I remember the day before.
I feel like it was like
he
a
was
September.
sunbathing.
Well, he's
at-
in
He was
Miami,
sunbathing there. No, he was He was sunbathing in Central Park the day before he went in. I want to say the end of summer, so I'm gonna say August.
August, September. Yeah.
All
August,
right.
yeah.
So let's just say he's in there for a year and some change, or he might have to do a little bit more time.
Mhm.
He's already served some time,
Right.
So if
And
you
the
charge
shame-
him or convict him for a certain charge, a lighter charge,
Yeah.
and be like, all right, time served, it still counts as a conviction for the DA.
And the shame, the level of shame is going to be very high. He's gonna walk out definitely not in the light in which he went in. His light is definitely going to be very different.
I don't know, bro.
Well,
maybe it's me because I never.
Well,
really, I didn't really fuck with him like that. Anyway,
let's put it this way.
Oh,
Let's put it this way, Ron. Can you see artists wanting to come and sign with him? Let's just start there.
That's a dub. Like, no,
Let's start there.
His career is over.
Okay, so let's
His career is over.
So musically, I don't think many artists, because mind you, there's gonna be some new nigga coming up that is willing to take it.
No.
Well,
I
listen,
think he has to totally.
Too much money.
we're talking
music.
about
The diddler,
bro. We're
anybody
talking
who
about
stands next to him is going to be looked at
Right.
as somebody who's being
bro. We are talking
done
about entertainment.
weirdly.
We're talking about rappers and entertainment. For a light, people will do a lot of things. Don't get it twisted. He's not coming back into the finance business or the banking world or anything like that where maybe morals. We're talking about
You can't.
hold on.
Shoot.
There are going to be people who are talking about selling drugs on records. They're not necessarily going to, because if you want to think about that, right prior to this happening, signed a brand new deal at Motown. This was not a world's secret to the industry on what was happening and what was going on. Right? He inked a brand new deal, got an album, whatever the case was. Now, personally, because also you got to remember, he still may have a certain level of resources that can get a person who is at 0,
Cool.
higher than 0.
Come on, you're missing the elephant in the room.
Yo,
that's
my
sitting right
guys,
next to you.
this is music. Like,
Yeah,
this
but
is-
music is based on what? Social currency. Right now, socially, he's looked at as a degenerate. I can't even say the other words.
in a business,
Like, yo, like,
in a
he just looked at
business,
something where in a macho machismo business,
in
he's not the
no,
one.
no.
He's the one that likes
Bro.
to watch his girl get blazed by other dudes and then
This
rub
is
the semen on his nipples.
it's in a
Niggas ain't
business.
buying no albums from this cat, yo.
GB,
He's toxic.
GB, it's in a business of that. It's the whole business. It's not just him in the business that are
So we
doing
just
these
going
things.
left?
The whole business is that way.
Damn, all right.
So
Hip hop dark.
Look at some of the
wait. Okay, he comes to your radio station.
Oh shit.
He gives you a record,
Keep it cool.
and you'll run the record. Like, yo, it's a new Puff record.
I'm willing to say this. If Puff comes and wants to interview,
Oh, he gonna come.
No.
Oh.
I'm not saying that.
He gonna come.
he's
No,
gonna come in.
that-
No, because I'm gonna ask.
That's
I'm
something-
gonna
no,
ask
that's
for an
something
interview.
That's something different.
I'm
That's-
gonna ask for an interview.
You just said in the music business, he can still make money and still
No,
be in the business.
no. What I'm saying,
You the voice of
No,
Long
he
Island.
could tell. He could
maybe
tell a
him,
story.
maybe
Yeah.
him per
You the
se,
voice of Long Island, right?
maybe him per se,
Come on,
maybe
Playboy.
him per se, he will not be able. Maybe him music because I
That's what
can't say that the world was necessarily checking
I love
for.
Long Islands.
You know what? This is when I turn my mic off the last time.
Why
Because y'all asked me a question and then y'all double over what it is that I'm trying to say.
Go ahead,
Y'all
Cook,
been
go
doing
ahead.
this for like
Okay, I'm
3
sorry,
episodes
man.
now.
I'm sorry.
3 episodes of this
I'm
shit
sorry,
y'all
I'm
been
sorry.
doing.
Yo,
We're
he's
in
just
the
joking
middle.
with
We're in
you.
the
Y'all
middle.
want me to talk or
We
not?
like Long Island school. Long Island school. Please.
90.3 WHBC every
Continue,
Thursday,
Playboy.
7 o'clock.
Continue.
The Play It Cool show. This is what they're referring to.
Hey.
I'm gonna say that there is going to be like you're acting like the music business is a moral ground. It's not a moral ground. It's never been a moral ground, and after this, it will continue to be an
It's a
unmoral
mock
ground.
show ground. It's a mock show ground, though.
No,
No,
it's
no, no,
not.
no, no,
In his case,
Nah.
is
Everybody's
very not
gay.
mock show.
Mad people are
gay. Nah.
Mad people are gay.
Some people get to the point where they're untouchable. It's like, yo, I can't. I gotta stay away from you.
Okay.
And you don't think he'll be to that point? I think when this is said and done, he'll have a run as far as interviews and telling the story or whatever. But other than that, like in the music business,
Okay.
I think the same way people probably didn't do business with other people because he wasn't fly with them, is that it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be like, yeah, I'm
Okay.
not fly with
All right.
Puff.
I'm willing to say this. 5 years from now, right? When after, let's say he just, I don't want to say walk, but let's just say this thing comes to some sort of conclusion and he's out. 5 years from now, if there's an artist that's good enough musically that society feeds into,
Mhm.
and he's somehow on the paperwork, I don't necessarily think that the artists themselves are gonna be deemed untouchable. He may not be able to do it no more because I'm not necessarily sure that society was really looking for him musically anyway.
As
He
an
just
artist,
dropped the
As an
album
artist.
that
As
that
an
people
art-
thought
as
that
an
he was gonna be
artist. As an
Grammy-
artist.
No,
He
as
just
an
dropped
artist,
that album that
Oh.
people thought was gonna be Grammy nominated. That what Love album? The Red.
I-
That was a good album.
I want to say that people gave it more love within the beginning of the controversy versus when it was actually running.
you think as an artist,
No, not
you think
no,
an
not
artist
as an
would
artist.
actually get into bed with him?
Somebody will.
We gonna
I don't
name
think
y'all.
so.
You know why? You
We
know
gonna
why I
name
say
y'all
this?
Johnson and Johnson.
The reason why I say that is because
your first single's gonna be called Baby Oil. Like it's gonna be Baby Oil.
he's been under. All right, I remember a long time ago we used to do these conference calls, and I remember Ron saying something along these lines a long time ago before any of this happened. And if we were at home where we were at, and Ron, you made some kind of predictions that really kind of came true, right? We were home with no real industry insight, but you were home and made a lot of correct inferences. All of these things have been record already. They've all been record. And you make it seem just because now that the general public is aware of these things. Because if me and you were at home making these inferences, we weren't the only ones. We weren't rocket scientists.
You didn't believe it though. You didn't believe it at the time.
That's not the point. That's not
I'm
my
just
point. I'm
saying,
trying to make.
Like I was a part of a minority of people.
But that's not my point. The point was what I'm
did
trying
you
to
think?
say.
Like what?
That he was a homosexual. That
Well, that hasn't been proven yet.
Well, that's because my gaydar is bad. That's
That
first
hasn't
of all.
been
That's
proven
first and
yet.
foremost.
Like he hasn't done.
that
I
has
mean,
been
at this first week, we haven't like what he like to rub the
What gets the most views?
jizz.
Okay,
on the-
6ix9ine, right? How many views did 6ix9ine get when he came out of prison?
I don't know.
A boatload.
Mm.
Did it taper off? Yes. This world that we're living in the sports of entertainment, we're gonna listen to that artist just because of that. Now, is there gonna maybe if there's a longevity of this artist? Maybe not.
But the
right?
thing, he's not really an artist. It's not like he's R. Kelly.
That's-
If R. Kelly was still
but
home
this
dropping
is-
album,
but this-
we'd listen to R. Kelly. He is a conduit. He's
But-
not really an artist.
What my point wasn't him coming out as an artist. My
Mhm.
point was him coming out with an artist.
I
With
don't
an
think
artist.
Part
Yeah, you
of
said
an
that.
artist. I'm willing to bet you that artist will get listened to. Whether or not he or she has a longevity, that's another thing.
why, this is the thing.
This is the
Why would
world
an
we live in.
artist even attach themselves?
Because some
to-
people have nothing.
I don't. Yo, bro.
Some people have nothing. It's the reason
When
why
you-
people
when
attach
you not-
themselves to him before all of this.
He has resources. Then now I think a lot of his resources are not gonna be there. The fact that the way he had a stranglehold on the record industry where people feared him, I don't think they're gonna fear him anymore. I think it's gonna be similar to how they did R. Kelly in music, how
It's
they
market.
did Bill Cosby in comedy, where he tried to like come back out and try to start something, and it once he saw that the public wasn't feeling it, he shut that shit down.
All right, let's
So
let's
was it
mark
me?
it.
All
Let's
right.
mark it.
Hold on a second. Is it me or I was a little disappointed by what the freak offs were.
I don't think it has anything to do with the freak offs. I think it has
No,
everything
but
to do
the freak
with
offs as
after
a
they
general.
saw that videotape of Cassie
Yeah,
and all that stuff,
Right,
and,
right, right.
and how
No, but
wild
what,
it is.
What
I
we
think
imagine what the freak offs were when we first heard of these freak offs. We thought there were orgies with like stars and people were gonna be there and who's were gonna be on these tapes.
I bet you
We
they're
didn't
gonna get
think
to
it was
that.
just gonna be just Cassie and like sex workers, right? Like it's kind of like a letdown, right? Like we
A
thought
little bit.
I think it's gonna
Frank
be other-
Montana was gonna be in there blazing, you know what I mean? Like we thought it was gonna be a who's who.
I think
of
French
people.
Montana thought he was gonna be in it too. I think that's why these niggas is quiet. They just waiting. They waiting for this shit to be over with.
Mm.
That's what I believe.
And that's my and okay. So
Yeah,
now,
it's the first week, yeah, like we said.
yeah. All right.
But the first week been a little bit of a letdown. It just seemed like two junkies in love, but we'll see.
Because even though like she said even while she was dating Kid Cudi, she was still doing freak offs with Puff.
She said while she was dating her husband,
Yeah.
she answered the phone while she was having sex with Puff.
No, I'm see. I don't know. I think that's out of context. I'm not sure if she answered while she was on the phone. They said, "Did he FaceTime you?" She didn't say whether or not I picked it up or not. She just said he FaceTimed me while I was. Yeah, she didn't say I picked it up and I was looking around and you know what I mean. She didn't say all that.
What do you guys feel like from the husband's perspective? How does a man sit there and listen and take all of this
I think it was a great chance he knew that already.
He knew it, but it's
But
kind
to
of
hear
weird
it
hearing
and
it.
to hear everybody else talk about it,
I think
and
it's- I
to
think
be
it's-
publicly displayed.
I think it was a great chance he knew it all already. I think, he's also a white boy who might have different, what validation or whose validation is he looking for? You know what I'm
Also,
saying?
they 20 million up too. So.
Our valid, we be looking for cultural validation or I can't do that. I can't marry this shorty and bring her to the hood or whatever. Niggas be knowing they live in a different, he's part of a different world.
A man's a man, bro. Like that dude's I don't know what kind of nigga.
When
is.
listen.
He's an opportunity. Like
When-
he's saying your bullet. Like
When
his
he
nigga
bring,
looking
okay,
for the bag,
that's
nigga.
true. But when he brings her,
He an opportunity.
let's say he goes out to dinner though. He's got him, he's got his boys, they got their wives, and he walks her in there. he's still gonna have a certain level of light that nobody else at the table got. No matter
Light? What do you mean light?
I'm saying,
Niggas pissed on her.
she's still banging.
What do you
Niggas
mean?
What that mean? Yes.
She's a toilet, nigga. A
All
fucking
right.
urinal.
Okay.
What the fuck you mean?
Okay.
She's no banging. What do you mean? Like, what the hell you mean?
I'm not.
Yo, she's
Well, see,
a run of a mill. She's
once
a run.
again,
Yo, she's a run of a mill.
You're talking.
Hispanic. Like,
you're
she's a
talking
regular
about-
looking chick. Like, who got pissed
She's
on?
not
fam.
she's not a regular.
No, fam, she is regular.
She's not regular.
Okay, I don't know. Cassie's
She's
never
not
been
regular.
like it.
She's never really been like that. I was talking
Yeah,
around about
like she's
that. I
not,
said she's not
like
for me.
like in her era, she was getting blown out the water. That's why she never even freaking made it anyway.
She's
like,
not regular looking.
A. Marie, Maya, like they was like she was Ashanti. Like in her era, they was like what? Like
My guy, he's working.
She wasn't gonna make it anyway.
But listen, you're talking about
you just stringing her along.
You're talking about a
like
man.
even left to her own devices.
You are
she didn't have enough talent to
talking
make it.
about a man who is already on his third child.
Yeah, and he was a personal trainer.
He is not in any concern
That's how serious he took
of
life.
what people are thinking.
Nigga.
One child, oh man, I just got with it, made a mistake or whatever the case is. Two, he's on 3, so he's surely
no. This
not
the celebration
concerned.
baby right now.
He's not
yo,
concerned.
The first baby was like, yo, let me get you out the paint. Let me get you out of here. Let me secure you. The second baby was like, all right, yo, we're here. We're gonna do this thing. Yeah. This third baby, this the celebration baby. They got pregnant after they got that bag.
You think
You know what I mean?
you think he pushed her to
He's
file
her-
the suit?
Yes, he's her new pimp. Like,
Okay.
let's just. He's the new pimp. Puff was pimping her. He's the new pimp. Came out, got the 50 mil from fucking Puff. 20 mil from Puff.
20 mil, yeah.
Pardon me. And then it comes out that she sued the Intercontinental for another 10 mil for releasing that joint. About to come out with a book and all that, documented. Who knows? The Lifetime movie, all the movie deals, everything that come out. She's the biggest victim in the world. You crazy? Come on now. Lysol, wipes, personal wipes for getting pissed on. Everything like that. You know how many endorsement deals she's gonna come out with? He's the new pimp. He got it. He got this shit on lock, nigga. Like, come on now. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Only week 1 though.
only week 1, man. We got a long way to go. Yeah, man.
All right.
We got anything we got to talk about, man? Anything good?
No, I think that's I think we, unless you got anything before we go.
I think I'm good.
All right.
Small talk.
Shout out to everyone tuned in on YouTube. Please remember to share so we can get more people to tap into the conversation. Corey Cool, you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Cooluniversity.com. I have the Long Island Sound, which is an hour of all Long Island artists strung together in a great 60 minutes of radio. Hopefully you have the opportunity to check it out, man. Cooluniversity.com. Gotcha.
And if you haven't, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Cigars, the Ensign Whiskey Podcast. Again, Cigars, the Ensign Whiskey Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so you know when we have new content coming out. Also, follow us on Instagram at Cigars Whiskey. That's Cigars with an S, Whiskey. Also, and with that, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Cigars and Whiskey Podcast. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.